G'day everyone, I'm Matt Elder and welcome along to episode number 12 of the Thursday night sort of build streams where we just get together with a few friends and talk over some stuff and build and chat and all the good sort of things there, and have some of the usual guys in a little bit. Just do the first little intro. Sort of been thinking about what to actually start calling some of these Thursday streams. So if you've got any suggestions, put them in the chat or anything like that. And we should also have a poll going there somewhere around the video. This week, some more Sonics have been announced, and they're all in the flavor of more so the TV series for Lego and things like that. So good to see what's going to happen with those. And a shout out to the replay gang. I was having a look at the stats for the last episode, and there are far more people watching this on replay than what happens in actual real time, which is great to see. So I think what I'll do is, if you are watching on the replay, leave your name or a comment down below the video and I'll give you a shout out at the beginning of the next one. So otherwise we'll just sort of have a quick little look here, see Stud Sidious. Very curious as to what kind of Lego contraption for the Sonic sets. A sphere. Yeah, it looks like a cool new part. And Lady McBrick is saying hello to everyone. And Life Through Lego Bricks, hello, greetings from Finland. Hello, welcome along. I think you someone she haven't seen before, so hope that you enjoy. And we'll chat some more. And Brett's Builds is saying hello. Always good to have you along, Brett. Hope that you are going well. I think you've been off modifying your trains again, I saw. And yes, we'll get to that. The reason we didn't have a stream last week is because we were off having a little bit of a holiday in Billund at Legoland and everything like that, which was really, really good just to get out. And Ian also having chat face. I know who's not going to be the branding officer. And yes, here for the first time. Excellent. Just let us know a little bit about what you like in Lego and things like that. And Beau Laveau also out on Twitch. Yes, the pirate set. And I think before we start getting a few people on, go through and the usual sort of thing. We have a sponsor, helps just pay for a few bits and pieces. So if I can just find that here. And now for a few words from the sponsor.
This video is brought to you by McCatsim Holiday Homes in Margate and Broadstairs. Great for a week's holiday or a weekend escape, being just over an hour east of London, UK. Treat yourself to amazing sunsets, a Lego wall, or great food. Visit www.mccatsim.com and mention this YouTube video and we'll look after you.
Got that out of the way. I think we'll start bringing in some of the regulars here. And a shout out to King Ollendorf. Good to have you along. And we shall also just trying to have a think about what they're up to during the week. I'm sure they can fill us in, and we'll bring in Trevor. And how are you going this evening, Trevor?
I'm very well, thank you, Matt. How are you? How was your trip?
Yeah, it was good. Just good to get away, have a little bit of a break for a few days and things like that, and really enjoyable. And been out to the Legoland in Windsor quite a bit, and the queues there can get crazy, whereas the ones in Billund, even though it was sort of like the tail end of their school holidays, it was actually quite reasonable. So, you know, it's always good with that, and actually saw some blue sky and all the rest of it. I mean, how about you? How was your holidays? I would imagine you had the kids around the house.
Yeah, Easter eggs, plenty of eating of chocolate, and buying some Lego sets, of course. There's always a more healthy alternative, if not. But yeah, working on some new content for the channel, doing a stop motion at the moment of the Disney Up House. So obviously, as you know, it takes a long time. So really enjoying that, yeah.
Yeah, that's what it was, because I remember seeing, maybe it was on Instagram, you had a couple of photos, and I think you built like the first 3 brick layers or something.
Yeah, it's very steady and slow, but it's enjoyable.
It take a little bit to get through there. And talking about building things that we've seen during the week, we'll bring in Nicole, who's been building some shelves. How are you going, Nicole?
Yeah. But I have to admit that the shelves were built for me. I cheated. I had people from IKEA over, and they set it up, and it was amazing. 45 minutes, 2 packs cupboards with doors and everything. It was just a miracle. Just to see them work was insane.
I suppose if they do it enough, yeah, they'll know all the little tricky ins and outs and all the rest of it. So, but that's interesting because I've never really heard of IKEA offering that service. Is that a German thing, or is?
I don't think so. I think it's international that it's just one can go there and bring the stuff back home to yourself, and you have the option to have it delivered, and you have the option to have it delivered and set up. The only thing is, at least in Germany, that the delivery and the setup, they are separated. It's not possible for someone to bring it and set it up at the same time. But I always thought that's offered everywhere, but I never checked.
Yeah, it's been a long time since I've been into IKEA because I think sometimes they really can be marriage testers sort of things. It's between getting lost and trying to put things together. So
that's the beauty. If you hire IKEA themselves to set it up, then if there are a couple of screws missing, it's their problem, not yours.
Yeah, that's the one thing I've noticed in IKEA. Sort of right by the entrance, you always have excess screws and things. If you're missing anything, you just go and pick them up.
Right.
Right.
Cool. And it's really, really amazing because I'm living in an apartment building, so it gets delivered. I don't have to ask anyone to bring it up the stairs. I really like it.
Yeah, it certainly sounds like something we should look into possibly because I haven't heard that in the UK as such. But again, haven't been into one for a while, so who knows? And speaking of people who are together, and I think even they've just managed to have a little bit of a holiday themselves. Say hello to the pods. How are you guys going?
Hey.
I was just about to Google to see if we have IKEA assembly here.
I've got a feeling we do, but it's stupidly expensive.
Yeah, I really like putting together IKEA furniture as well.
Do you?
Yeah, I feel like accomplished at the end of it. Only small things, not big things.
Okay, right.
Things that I can actually lift.
Yeah.
So not much. But it's like big Lego. You just follow the instructions. He never looks at the instructions, and it bugs me.
I look at the instructions occasionally.
I find that when you do Lego, it gives you training to do flat pack furniture.
Exactly.
Right.
It's just the same.
Yeah. But, it's like Lego sets. Some of them you can just look at the box and you know how you build it.
No.
It's the same thing with IKEA.
That's not a thing.
It does remind me of sort of old school Lego instructions. Sometimes it's sort of like, there's 5 things to do on one step and it's not exactly clear. And you're sort of like, okay, were these screws for this length for this step, or were they for the next step because they're short?
Yeah.
Right.
And
old Lego is
all the rest of it.
Harder.
Yeah. Something that always surprises me are Lego calendars, the advent calendars. For the normal instructions, every step is explained to you. And then all of a sudden, the calendars I thought are for children. And all of a sudden, you get a small picture and figure it out.
Yeah. And it's not always obvious on those either.
Right.
No, it's sometimes not. And even with some of them, it's because usually do the Star Wars one, and if I can't quite figure it out, usually by that stage Ryan's done it like 3 months earlier, so just have a quick look and it's like, oh, that's on upside down or something. So, and joining us in, I can't remember. I'm sort of almost thinking of these Thursday night streams as like a season 2 of sort of me streaming, and I can't remember if the very first episode of that, whether this guy was in. I think he may have been, but joining again is Stud Sidious. How are you going, Stud?
What's up, man? How's it going?
Hi, Stud.
Hey.
Hey.
Yeah, I haven't been with you in a long time. I think it might have been your first stream. I'm not sure. It was a long time ago when you used to stream. I don't even know if it was on Thursdays.
Yeah, no, the previous ones are generally a Saturday, and they might bounce around other ones. But I thought the first one back I did about 3 months ago. You may have been on that. Maybe you weren't.
No. You sent me an invite, but I was busy that time. But I remember the old streams I've done with you and solo a lot. It was solo. Occasionally, you had Weeb on.
Yeah, that was definitely well in the mix of COVID way back when, sort of.
Yeah,
thing.
yeah. I think it was. Yeah, might even been pre-COVID.
It was getting a while ago, as such. So, but I guess you usually do a lot of stuff with football, and I guess the football season, at least regular, is kind of over. So you're getting a bit of a breather now.
Well, not because they do the draft now in the end of April, where everyone selects players. So it's another spike for like sales, and I have to release all new spring line of clothing. So I had a little breather, and then now I'll have like another month of craziness, and then it'll go back down a little bit. It's weird how football has become year round now, especially from like a merchandising thing. When I was a kid, it wasn't like that. Nowadays, it's like definitely become like a year round. They're on social media all the time. So, but yeah, a little break for now.
And because they've also got, isn't the Rock doing something with the XFL or something or other? There's another league or something.
Yeah, that's springtime. They tried to. I was actually working at WWE when they did the first round, which failed horribly. But they were trying to mix wrestling. Like they did different rules than the NFL, and it wasn't. I worked on a couple of the team logos. They actually did hundreds and hundreds of team logos, and then mine didn't even make it to the actual like public view because they did so many of them. But they're bringing XFL back now, and it's actually pretty cool because now they do it as American football rules, regular rules. They don't try to make it like something different. Like the first time they did the league, they tried to make it like the rules were way different, and Americans didn't like it. So it failed really bad. But now the new one is pretty good. Yeah, it's not bad.
It's got it in there. So okay, cool. And yeah, I guess now it's gonna. If you weren't already busy year round, possibly you certainly will be now. All right, then we might just have a quick touch base with everyone. I think Tech is going to be in a little bit later on, and Brigapix may also be in. But we'll just start off with Trevor. What are you going to be working on tonight? Or
I'm going to be building set 77012, the fighter plane chase Indiana Jones series.
Oh, it's a great set.
Amazing.
The car build is awesome on that set. I love the little car build.
Yeah, so that looks absolutely awesome.
Yeah, it's a fun build.
So that's what I'm going to be building this evening.
Oh, brilliant! Excellent. Yeah, that's certainly one which it's on the radar to pick up at some stage. I mean, it's really interesting because the kids they know Indiana Jones. It's like, oh, how do you know Indiana Jones? Because they're quite young. Obviously, they've never seen the films and anything like that. And it's like, oh yeah, it's a skin in Fortnite. And it's just like, oh, okay, great. Everything comes back. So, Lady McBrick, what are you going to be looking or working on tonight?
I just started to build The Office.
Oh, nice.
Do you like The Office, like the actual show?
I started to watch it, and I like it. It's I'm a bit torn. I first watched a bit of the German version of it. It's not bad, but one has to really know the German actors to like it. And now I'm watching the American one, which the set is based on.
I didn't know they had a German version of that. That's pretty cool. I knew they had a UK version. I didn't know they had a German version.
I think the UK one was the first, right?
Yeah. The original.
Right, but there is a German one too.
I actually think that one's better than the American version, but that's just my stupid opinion.
Yeah, I like Ricky Gervais. Maybe I should have watched that one first.
So I think a lot of people prefer the English season 1 to the American season 1 because the American one, they basically just tried to copy the English one.
Yeah.
Mm.
So it's pretty much just a line for line remake, and that never works well.
No.
But so then I think from the second series on, they kind of followed the same themes, but they wrote the American one specifically for the actors and the American market, and so that's when it gets a lot better.
Ah, right.
That set had awesome Easter eggs in it, though. That set has a lot of Easter eggs for the American show in there, like tons of them.
Right.
That's pretty cool.
What it as well has is tons of stickers.
Yeah, most of the Easter eggs are stickers, unfortunately. But
yeah,
I mean, they had stuff in the desk drawers.
Oh,
There's
wow.
stuff everywhere.
right. That's I think 77 or even more.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
That's so between the mini figures and the stickers, that's half the set.
Right.
I mean, they overloaded it with Easter eggs,
Sort of
which is
things.
cool. As a fan of the show, it was really cool. But
Right.
there's a lot of them in there.
And a lot of those are done.
And I'm guessing cabbage. Yeah, just guessing that Cabbage is a fan of the English one because he's getting a bit upset that they're saying that the American one came first. Nice to have you along, Cabbage. Hope that you're well.
Oh no, I know the UK one came.
And
I prefer the UK.
what's King Eldest? And KO saying, "Stud, you're actually showing your face," and it's like, no,
I usually do.
I
I
don't
some
know.
streams I do. It's because I have like I like in my studio I keep the lights really low, and if I stream at night, it's like I'm in a dark cave. So usually I don't put the camera on, but it's daytime here, so it's that's why usually I just have bad lighting in here. Well, it's not bad lighting. I'm in a like what they call a New York City loft style apartment that has like very high ceilings and it's very spacious. So there's certain sections that have light and don't have light. So it can be very dim inside my place. So that's usually why I keep it off.
Yeah, no, it's. I always thought it was to try to keep your snakes happy or something. You know, not having too much light.
They're in the dark section. They actually this morning was a mess. I woke up and they shed, and when they shed, they go to the bathroom, and one of them just smeared it everywhere. Like it was this morning was to wake up grumpy and then you have to clean that up was not a fun experience.
No. So while we're having a chat about these sorts of things, what are you sort of looking at building or taking apart or doing tonight, Stud?
I'm working on this mock behind me. There's a lot of bricks in that one. Okay. I'm going to open you with this Mythica set, or this. I should have done this a long time ago because you know I'm into greebling. I like to mock with a lot of greebling, but either this.
That's a brilliant set. I love that.
Yeah, Ryan actually bought like 8 of these things and built like a trench. So he had it on both sides, and he had it. Came out pretty cool. And he says he's not that good of a mock builder, but he's pretty good. I mean, what he made came out awesome, and he made like a full trench of it, which was really cool idea, I thought. But I always have mocks and sorting to do, but I think I'm going to open the Mythica set because we didn't get this in the U.S. and I love this lion, the flying lion.
Yeah, I was going to say like because usually that's a Legoland sort of exclusive. Do they? Obviously, New York's got a Legoland now. Do they actually have Mythica there, or have you acquired this somehow else?
No, it's only you're the only place that has the ride in the UK. UK is the only place that has the ride. I saw Butt Chop and Zizou and a bunch of people building it, and I was like, I never even heard of that set because we don't have the ride here. So, and Lego didn't really promote it that much. So, but I love like mythical creatures, and when I saw that line, I was like, dude, I definitely have to get that set. What upsets me though is you can see like it's a white lion body, but they use gray joints that break up the white. That kind of bothered me. Those didn't come in white. They could have easily, I don't know, maybe a production thing why they didn't do it, but I'm gonna swap them out. But I think like a mythology theme of like a griffin, a hydra, Lego could have like a custom theme of that. And I think
they're a cat.
But a cat is not a mythical being. If you listen to our podcast, Ian likes to wind me up and pretend that cats are mythical. So
That was funny though. That was funny when he put the cat.
He's constantly like, oh, look at that cat, and he's like, what cat? And now the girls also do it. I'm like, how are you convinced?
Was that last week's episode?
No, the one that came out today. That was this week.
Yeah. Oh, I just started listening to that one.
Yeah. Oh, spoiler. Sorry.
That's all right. It's all right. It drives me crazy when they do things like that. Like you can literally see that the lion's all white and they use gray, the gray hinge parts, which come in white. So that was just a weird design decision for me. But again, this design is subjective, so who knows? The designer might have wanted to break it up. I don't know, but I'll swap it out.
Because it's as you said, it's based upon the ride, which is in the UK, which is a pretty cool ride. And even as you go in, they have because it's sort of the main character within your ride sort of thing. And they've got a brick-built version of it, which is, cool. The size of a small dog, which is really, really cool. But even with that, because they haven't done the wings properly, they've actually got like fishing wire holding up the wings. Because it's not strong enough, so it's just
that's strange.
Until you notice.
Usually they would glue it. That's pretty weird, but
yeah, I guess it's just the way that they've got the joints there. So it's always been one of those things. I've taken so many photos of it from all different angles. It's like I'm tempted to one day to try to reverse engineer it and actually try to build the thing, because I think it'd be a pretty cool one.
The same sort of scale, massive scale. Oh, that'd be cool.
Yeah, basically a 1-to-1 of what's already there. Because I think some of the techniques and the joints and things that they've got are pretty cool. It's just then it's like, am I going to have to find somewhere to hang some fishing wire so the wings don't constantly fall down?
What do these plants have to do with the ride? These little man-eating plants, which I thought were a nice little build. I mean, a small build, but do they have anything to do with the ride? I would assume they do.
Okay, so the one on the left is actually, they ran a contest before opening it up to basically have, because I think it was sort of, the contest was running at the beginning of COVID, and it was to design a little character. So that little character, I think, is actually done by a kid.
This one.
Yeah, so it's and it's kind of like, your guide to the ride sort of thing. And I'm just trying to think the other one. It's because we haven't done the ride in a while.
I just like Venus flytraps and like the plants from Mario and stuff. So it reminded me of that. Those man-eating looking plants.
Yeah, because you basically the thing with the ride is you go along with into different world or whatever, and there's sort of like a bad guy creature which I think has 4 heads, and it's a snake, a shark, can't remember the other 2, and obviously there's like a lava world and things like that, and it's really well done because it's one of those sort of almost 4D type ones where as you go through the fire, there's sort of like some heat comes out. As you go through, you're flying along and you go down low on some water and you get a little bit of mist coming out.
Yes,
the actual cinema sort of thing in those. And then, as you're going along, there's like a wind machine. And yeah, it's probably one of our favorite rides. And there's always a giant queue. And it was interesting because when they originally did the planning permission for it, because they've still got to go through local council to build all these things, they were actually theming it as if it was going to be a Lego Movie 1, but obviously the Lego Movie 2 didn't do as well as expectations, so then they flicked it over to this one. But it was interesting because when we were in Billund, they actually have the same ride, but it's done with Lego Movie theming, so it's obviously the original one. And it's a really weird sort of ride, apart from the fact it was all in Danish, so you're not quite sure what's going on. The only thing I understand was they keep on going super duper. It'd be super duper, super duper. And they do it so much because it's the Emmett character doing it. You just get to the point every time you're just joking around because the only thing you understand is super duper.
It's funny you mentioned
and-
the tie-in to the movie because supposedly, and I don't know anything about this, I didn't even know this set existed. Supposedly, someone told me that it was supposed to be in the Lego Movie 2. There was going to be like some Mythica in there, like they were going to tie it in, and I guess it got cut. So maybe that's why the ride was kind of like that. Who knows?
Yeah,
a few people actually told me that they were like, "Oh yeah, that's supposed to be in the movie, but it didn't make it." So it's a cool idea. I like the idea of it. I mean, but I like mythical creatures and I like griffins and things like that, hydras. So
yeah, no, it's. I guess as with anything, it's a Lego IP, so they can do with it what they want, and they're not as beholden to license holders and things. So
yeah.
But certainly the ride is one of, as I said, one of our sort of favorites there, and it's the whole area and theming's being done out well. I mean, Rickbods, have you been to Legoland and been on it?
No, when we hit 1K subs, we're planning on going to Legoland for the first time, so we're hoping to get there soon.
Yeah, because I was going to say you're what, about 13 off now or something?
I think 17. I think we lost a couple, as is the way with YouTube. You're like, oh no, they've gone. Yeah, it's very frustrating. I'm racing tech as well, and I think he's too ahead of me at the moment.
I've noticed that you'll gain subscribers, and then all of a sudden, that 2 days later, I've lost 2 or 3 again.
Yeah.
So there's a bunch of different reasons that it can happen. One is that I think if someone subscribes to you on a second account, it will sometimes go through and bump up the subscriber count, and then something later comes along, works out that it's a second account, and so reduces your subscriber count again.
Yep.
Oh.
It's the same IP. If it sees it as the same IP, sometimes it just changes the count to 1.
Yeah.
But it's normal. I mean, like when I used to have to build social media pages for advertising agencies, it's normal to lose subscribers. Like even like on Instagram, you're going to lose some. I mean, it's just normal to slowly lose some. Like it's not really a bad thing, but it's frustrating. Yeah, but that's just from the analytics and everything that we used to see. That's kind of normal to begin with. But
yeah, it's just when you're racing someone and you want to win.
yeah. I can see that.
You're highly competitive.
I am
never noticed that.
highly competitive. Yeah.
I mean, like sometimes, like Mayo gets very crazy about his numbers, and I keep telling him, I'm like, dude, that's normal. It's normal, man. It's normal. He super pays attention to it. And I'm like, you're stressing yourself out, dude. Calm down. Like it's normal. You're gonna drive yourself crazy, dude. Just relax. Have fun with it.
I'm just happy if I wake up in the morning, I've gained another subscriber.
I
think they also are going through and if people subscribed a while ago and they close their account or things like that, that obviously drops off as well. And I think sometimes it also tries to identify ones which may have been bots, which sometimes actually may be real people. So it's
yeah, the bot thing can do it too. I mean, there's various reasons. That's what I mean. It's normal to lose small percentages of subscribers weekly. I mean, that's just normal, unfortunately.
Still take it personally, though.
What's funny because I'll be on the stream with Mayo, and Mayo will be counting it as we're streaming. And it's like, dude, calm down, bro. It's not the end of the world. He gets upset. I'm like, you're making yourself mad, man. Just relax. It's fine. Like,
I think the whole way YouTube works with until you get 1,000, you're not really counted as a proper person from YouTube, so you don't get access to the support and all of that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It makes people focus on it a hell of a lot, I think.
Yeah, but I've heard that even when you do have access to the support, it's still rubbish.
Is it?
Yeah. I mean, even when you get 1,000, they really pay attention at the 10,000 mark. Like they have tiers to it too, so it's like you're just gonna frustrate yourself.
Yeah, I was going to say it's sort of like because we've been over the 1,000 for a number of years now, and I didn't even know that you could get support. Like,
Yeah, there's a shortcut around it though. If you have a YouTube paid ads account, you get instant support because obviously you're giving them money to run the ads.
Yeah.
They pay attention to you obviously because you're paying them. But it's then that's the workaround to it.
Yeah. I think it's just that first sort of milestone, hitting the 1,000 subscribers and the 4,000 watch hours. But then it's because after that, once you hit that, it's almost like, I mean, you kind of pay attention, but you kind of don't at the same time.
Yeah.
So,
I just want to hit 300. I want to get to my first 300.
I need to start putting out content on YouTube. I've just been busy, but I was shocked. I saw I have like 70 followers. I was like, wow. I never look at that because I don't put content out. I just live stream and talk to people. I was kind of shocked. I was like, whoa, there's people here and I don't make videos. I feel bad.
Yeah. Well, I remember years ago, like talking 2007, 2008, I put a couple of tutorial videos up on YouTube, like, how to draw a PlayStation controller. And I sort of forgot about it for a couple of years. And then I came back later and there was like 10,000 subscribers there. And
Wow.
I just kind of gone, oh, I don't even look at this. This is kind of pointless. Delete. And then years later, it's like, oh, that was a really dumb idea.
Yeah. Yeah, because you could have shifted the channel, but then you wouldn't have the audience that was interested in what you're doing. So yeah,
Yeah,
it was social media.
It was also back before Google had actually bought it. So you used to just have like a normal login, but when Google bought it, they then forced you to change your email address over to a Gmail address, and that was not a seamless process. So I think that was also part of the reason. It's just like, I just couldn't be bothered doing all this stuff. It was just too painful. Whereas now it's kind of par for the course.
Right.
But BrickBots, we never got a chance to have a quick chat and sort of see what you're working on this evening.
Well, so Ian is currently building a set in the studio so that I can recolor it. So that's our Lego thing that we're doing, and I'm doing a jigsaw because I was just like, I don't want to build anything else because there's so many sets in this room. I'll just do a jigsaw. I'm here for the chat.
See, I thought when you said you were doing a jigsaw, you were doing a Lego jigsaw.
No, I've done all my Lego jigsaws.
You've done them all?
Yeah. Oh. So I'm now just doing a random one from the library. 60s. There we go, 60s scene.
How many jigsaw puzzles has Lego put out? Like average number?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. About 10, maybe, roughly.
Mm-hmm.
They've just got a new one, the Botanicals one.
That line must be doing well because all the off brands are making botanical sets like crazy. So
yeah,
they must be doing well for Lego. Like, it's very cool, the parts usage in it. I love in the botanicals. They always use parts in interesting ways.
Yeah, the botanicals are really good sets.
Yeah, I think the number of females that they're managing to attract who have no interest in Lego is quite surprising. Because even some of my family members who have no interest in it, and they saw one of them and they picked them up, and because obviously they're flowers and they're quite appealing and that, and they start doing them. It's like, oh, actually, this is really cool, and it's sort of like, oh, get this other flower one, and
yeah. Usually it's the orchid set that draws people in. It seems like it's a gorgeous set. The Bird of Paradise was nice. All of them are cool. Like, from my point of view, the parts you get too are like cool because you get all these, like, you get crowns in different colors and clamshells in different colors. So
yeah, I think it's also done really well for Lego fans who have then gone out and just bought like their mums the sets. That at brick shows, the number of families where it's like, oh look, mum, there's your flowers kind of thing, and it does come across as that's the only thing the mums have got.
It gets them involved in the hobby then. Like, that's nice to share it. But yeah, there were so many that would point because we were right next to Floss Barrett, who makes a lot of botanical stuff. So she had a whole display of them, and everyone's like, "Oh, that's my set. That's my set," and it was always the mums.
Yeah.
They must come in handy though for your reef, Mock. Like those parts must work out great for the reef.
Yeah, so that's what got the reef kind of started for us. Is that we wanted to get those somewhere in the city. But the orchids, I won't let Ian take those down because they're so pretty. So they're not going. They're staying. We have to get the new bouquet in.
Yeah.
Because we haven't
wildflower one. I think the wildflower one will work really well because it's got the
colours.
colours.
Yeah, the colours are so beautiful.
The dried flower centerpiece one I quite like, but that's going to be hard. That's the wrong colours really to work in the coral reef.
Yeah, I don't know.
We'll still get it.
What's that Redbeard set? That's a Lego House exclusive set. That one you have behind you. Is that Redbeard?
Yeah, it's Redbeard, and I'll just pull it up.
Oh, that's really cool. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's a Lego House exclusive, and I think they just released it in March. And of course, the only way you can get it theoretically is from Lego House, and they limit it one per household, and they are pretty strict on that. So they are. Yeah, a bit tricky to come by, and even we were trying to, I wanted one, the kids wanted one, and trying to have a thing with them, and they're just like, no, one per household. So it's like, oh, okay, that's so.
Is it the size of the Harry Potter buildable figs, like that scale?
Yeah,
I have. It's about that scale. I have a feeling that it's actually a little bit smaller, but not by much. Like I think it's comparable. I mean, because I think the tile for the face is the same size, but I do have those Harry Potter ones.
That's what made me ask. The map in his hand and the face tile, those prints. I was curious on scale as to like what they're made of, what kind of parts, because it looks like it's close to the Harry Potter size.
Yeah.
Is that map just one big tile, like the one from the top of the Nintendo build, the NES system build?
I think, looking at it, the top of it's one tile, and then it looks like the base is then some brick built.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
Pieces in there.
That's really cool. Now, the architecture set for Lego House is awesome, but I like the way that I can never pronounce it. The Copenhagen name, that it's big, because they have a sister agency in New York, the architecture firm that built the Lego House, that designed it. We just call it Big here, but it's like Barkin. I can't pronounce the name. I'm horrible at it. But the people who designed it did an amazing job, and that the architecture set of the Lego House with those punchy colors in the roof, and then it's all white and like boxy and modern. I love that. The look of it, it's amazing.
Yeah, it's also an interesting space because you go through and at the different levels, a lot of those they're just little terraces that you can access off the different rooms, and even one side of it where it's all stepped, you can basically obviously just walk straight up it. And even if you don't have like a ticket or anything like that, I mean, obviously you can't get in, but it's a really interesting piece of architecture. And then internally to it, they've obviously got, when you go in, there's a big massive tree. And when we were working on the House of Dots a few years ago, which was the launch promotional thing in London for Dots as a brand, we were working with some of the master model builders who are the Prague workshop, and they actually had just finished working on that tree. And the interesting thing was the tree is that the tree was so heavy, when they actually went to put it in the building, the basement didn't have enough supports. So they had to go through and redo the basement so you can have the actual tree in there for it, because it's so heavy because of what is in it. So it's always just little quirky things like that. You find out.
That tree looks like it's massive in the inside of this. How tall do you think that tree is when you were there? Like,
It goes from the ground floor pretty much all the way up, so it's
4 stories, 3.
Yeah, it'd be about 4 stories. Because the first one as you go up is like a massive mezzanine, so it's sort of like 2 or 3, and then it goes up even further. So yeah, you could understand why, because the internal of it's probably steel beams and things like that, and then obviously it's just coated. But it's the sort of thing when the leaves which go out are absolutely massive, because they've got some of the historical sets on it, on the branches and things, and they'll be decent sized sets, and they're just completely dwarfed by the leaf. Like it's just huge. So, and then what I got here. Hello to Zushi. That's good. And
Zizou, he's the one who turned me on to this set. Zizou, him and Butt Chop. I'm building it, Zizou. I'm building it. Finally.
Yeah. Where did Tony the Toenail come from? Quick. Then I just want to go back to I had life through Lego bricks. Who was somebody new. I'm a Lego collector of many things: fairy decorations, Legos, some fridge magnets, birds, and a few other soft tiles and certain comics. Oh, cool! If you're still there, what sort of comics? Is it sort of like American style, or like you Marvel, or something more anime, manga? I'm sure I messed that up a bit, but anyhow, you get the point.
Fridge magnets. That would be crazy. Fridge magnets. I assume there's a lot of fridge magnets out there, so that could be a ginormous collection.
Depends how big your fridge is.
Yeah, yeah, that too. Like with stamps and coins, you get pretty big collections of that stuff.
Yeah. So I guess we kind of touched on it a little bit earlier. What do people think of the Sonic sets which are coming out? Trevor, have you seen them? What's your sort of take on them?
Yeah, I had a look at them last night, actually. They're really nice play sets. Very colourful, and I don't know whether it will work as they suggest it will work, with Sonic being in the little sphere ball. And I think that with it being that kind of plastic, it's just going to get scratched really, really badly. I really do. But yeah, they seem really nice. Not sure on the price. I think it's something that my eldest might be interested in, but I don't think I'm going to buy them personally myself.
Yeah. Okay. Nicole, did you see them? You got any thoughts on?
I am not really a gamer. I never played the game. I know that when the first one came out and everyone was really hyped about it, I looked at it and I was kind of surprised and realized that I don't really get the set, because it looked like a normal set, but I did not feel the enthusiasm in regard to it, and I kind of feel the same with this set. It's nice, but I'm not enchanted by it. Yeah,
it's kind of not. You're not kind of the target market for it, sort of thing.
Yeah, and I never played the game. I guess that's the problem. I do not really know what to like about it, other than the bricks and that it's pretty.
Cool.
It's
Stud being a
I
bit of a.
it's just I saw the Peaches Castle, and I have no idea about Mario. The only thing that fascinates me in regard to the Peaches Castle is the really, really wonderful window.
That's sort of the main feature on it. Yeah, the stained glass.
Yeah.
Because I know I've got that inside. Because the Mario one is obviously just a pared down sort of version, and then somebody had done, I think on Rebrickable, a really good one, which then one of these Chinese knockoff companies went through and actually made. And
Yeah.
I do have it, and I've made it, and it's really cool. Because I did look at when they did the rebrickable one, they did it in colors which don't actually exist in some pieces. So I'd then gone through, and it was in a studio file, and tried to change the colors and tried to get it to something which was practical, and it didn't look too good. And even with that, it was going to cost something ridiculous, like £600 just in parts.
Yeah.
So in the end, I just got the Chinese knockoff one, which was like £80 or something, and then gave the original designer a donation on rebrickable.
Yeah, right.
So, but it's it's so much nicer. I mean, it's the Mario stuff. It's obviously in that play style, and you just wish they'd do it in like a proper. Like brick built one, like they did sort of either the airship or, even a Bowser or something. But
right.
Yeah.
Do you know the bricks that you got? Which manufacturer is it?
Not off the top of my head. It was one I'd never heard of before. The bricks aren't that bad. There was a couple of pieces where I think it was some of the cone pieces, they didn't really fit on properly. But otherwise the rest of it was okay. It's not like, you put it on and it falls to bits. It's it's got reasonable clutch. It's some of the colors compared to Lego and some don't. Some are just really random sort of.
Yeah, right. It's just that I heard that Go bricks are supposed to be really of high quality.
Okay. Yeah, there's been a couple of companies which have sent me some stuff to review. There was the Fun Hole one, which is an unfortunate name, and I think Brickbod, you may have also done it. Did you do?
No, we didn't get a Fun Hole. I think High Tea Toys did one. I think
High Tea Toys and Cabbage as well, and the clutch power on them is much stronger than Lego. Like it's even stronger than Kobe. So if you put it together, it's really difficult to get apart.
Right.
Yeah, that's weird about the off-brand sets. Either the clutch power is too loose or too tight. Like they never, it's never right in the middle.
Yeah, there was another one which I did, which was, I think I still got it. Yes. It was like a catapult one. It was JM Bricklayer or something. And they're getting pretty close in the ballpark, where the clutch power is quite good. It's still a little bit too strong, but not by much. And we just had somebody else pop in, Mr. I am doing videos all the time now. Tech, how are you going?
I'm a professional YouTuber now. Can I say that? 4 videos in 4 days. My quota's done for the year.
That's why he's late. He's making another production.
How you guys doing? You all good?
Either that or you're
good. How are you going?
Yeah, very good. Thank you, Matt. Very good.
Yeah, you need to stop making videos.
Been
I was going to say, stop making videos because it's getting you subscribers and I don't want you to win.
I don't want to win either. I think you guys deserve it way much more than I do. You guys put in so much more work than I do. So I hope you beat me to it, honestly. But yeah, no, I'll probably be done for a few weeks at least now.
Dude, you look so tired at the end of the video with the pins because you got up so early to get those pins. You look so worn out. I was like,
yeah,
man, you had a long day.
I was exhausted. We did because we had done the Wednesday. Me and Lauren were just like walking around London. We walked like 17 miles, so that wasn't like a light day. And then we did the Thursday. Carrie and Ian come up and tons of other people come up and we hit like 3 of the Lego stores all in London. So that wasn't exactly like a slow moving day either. And then, we would get back. Holly wanted to stream a few nights on Twitch. So we did that. And that ended up, and we were just sort of chatting and hanging out till the early hours. So it wasn't too much sleeping. So by the end of it, I was like, I was ready to check out, but no, it was really good fun. I would highly recommend recommend it for anyone if you can get like a few people to get together to go to those sorts of things. Much the same as like Lego conventions, really, just obviously all Star Wars themed, and the prices of everything are 10 times higher than you'd want to pay. But no, it's good.
Have you booked tickets for Japan?
So what?
I haven't. I don't think I'll be making my way over to Japan. As fun as it sounds and as fantastic as an excuse that would be to finally go over to Japan, like I would love to, but yeah, I don't think it's on the cards. Although it is in 2 years, so
Japan,
yeah.
where
That's
is it?
until he sees what pins are on.
Yeah.
Is it in Tokyo? Is it in Tokyo?
Yeah, it's gonna be in Tokyo next.
Dude, you're missing out though. Like that's probably I've been a lot of places, but that Tokyo is amazing, dude. I love it there. I would move there, to be honest. Like,
yeah,
I don't like leaving the New York City area. I love New York City, but the Tokyo was so cool, so cool. Like they had robot bars. Like you sit in this bar and it's got like a catwalk, and all these droids come out, and like the culture there is just. That city's amazing.
Yeah, I would really love to go. I really need an excuse to go. Maybe Star Wars Celebration is that excuse.
You'll like it there. Trust me, it's a good time. The flight is rough. I mean, from here it's far, but
yeah,
that was my first ever flight. All the way to Japan. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a long flight. You can speak Japanese, can't you? You can speak, Carrie. You can speak Japanese, don't you? Or Mandarin?
Scottish. I mean, a little bit.
Carrie, you could be my translator droid. We could dress you up as C-3PO and like you could...
I may have to like brush up on my Japanese first. But when you don't use it, it just disappears.
All you need to learn is, can we please trade that pin? Or what pin are you looking for?
The pins, I was so jealous. Like, the pins just look like so much fun. But some of them are massive.
Yeah, they're huge. Like the especially the Rancor one and the Jabba one are huge. The other two that are really big is like the 20th anniversary Clone Wars one and the Return of the Jedi one. They're like pretty chunky. Like I said, you wouldn't want to wear them around your neck for too long. They were heavy.
When I saw the Rancor one, I ordered it on eBay.
Did you?
Yeah, I'm obsessed with Rancors. Like,
yeah,
but that and it is big. I saw it. I was like, dude, that thing looks like 3 or 4 inches tall, like in height. Yeah. As soon as you've done that video, I ordered it right away. I was surprised it was already on eBay, but everything now is on eBay these days. And the way it's drawn too, it's like a chibi art style. Like it was just very cool. Like
the art style is really cool. So when I went to Celebration in 2016, sorry, Matt, I've just kind of taken over the stream with Celebration chat.
No, go for it.
But the pins in 2016 were all like emoji style pins, and they were really, really fun to collect. And the reason why I wasn't going to get the pins at first was because I wasn't convinced on this art style. But the more and more I looked at them, the more I like really, really like them. So yeah, that's why.
I mean, some characters are always going to look better than others in that style, but it was. Yeah, that one's great, dude. It hasn't come yet, but I ordered it the second I saw it. I was like,
yeah. That's the Rancor, but yeah, he's big boy.
Yeah.
I'm used to collecting like charity pins. They're just like small ones. So
yeah, I got into the Disney ones pretty hard when I went over there. So that was
it's so expensive though.
Yeah, it is very expensive,
especially when you don't know what you're getting. Like,
yeah,
but then
the good thing about Disney is the cast members have to trade with you. Their only stipulations are that you can't trade. I think it's more that you can trade 2 pins at a time. You can't trade any more than 2 with one cast member at that time. And you can't trade a pin that they've already you can't give them a pin to trade that's already on their lanyard. That's the only 2 stipulations. Anything other than that, they have to trade with you. So it's great. You can just just keep going through them and
always
and then
those damn rules. Exclusive. Always those rules, man.
Yeah, I know. there was this cast member. They must have just had their like lanyard updated because they had so many cool ones. So I like grabbed my sister to come over with me. I was like, here's some pins. I want the Stitch ones.
No, now you're bringing people to get extra pins.
Yeah,
this is a problem.
Yeah, that's how it works. Like I said, I go hard. I go in on the pins. It's just funny though, because like I was saying when I was speaking to my mum, she was asking me about how it went and everything. She's like, "Oh, you got into the pins again?" And I was like, I will think about pins like 2 weeks before and 2 weeks after I go to Disney, and then like Star Wars Celebration, and until I've completed the collection, and then I just won't think about them again for ages. But,
I would assume because next year's in Tokyo, the art style might be a little anime for the pins.
it would be that would be very cool if they did. Maybe do some Visions pins as well, because there's some characters from. But yeah, that could be really interesting.
A lot of people didn't like that series, the Vision series, but because I understood what it was. I didn't expect it to be super, hardcore Star Wars. It was an adaptation in a different style and for a different culture. It's supposed to expose people to that kind of culture, which is a great job doing that, I thought. But
yeah, I need to go. I got about halfway through and I was like not quite in it, but I went to the Visions 2 panel at Celebration, and they had like a good each director had about 8 to 10 minutes maybe to like talk about their new one. So there's basically, with this season, rather than picking, I think maybe like 2 or 3 animation houses last time, they've done 9. So each individual animation house gets their own short. So it'll be like a 5-10 minute short. And so it was really cool to get to listen to all of the directors. And there was like an Indian director. There was this couple that were from South Africa. There was the Polish woman that directed the Aardman animation.
Polish people, yes.
Yeah. So yeah, it was just really cool to kind of hear everyone's take and like how they're putting basically their own mythology from and like their own like folklore and stuff, and their culture's stories basically into Star Wars. So I think Visions 2 is going to be very good, very, very good. The Aardman animation is fantastic.
I didn't realize they were doing a second one. That's awesome.
Yeah. It comes out May 4th. I think there's 9 episodes that are going to drop. So
that reminds me of the Tales from the Jedi. I wish those were longer, dude. The Tales series, like they did Yaddle dirty, but that was just part of it. But I wanted more juice around it, more lore and expand it, because they did so much cool stuff with the lore in those little 15-minute episodes that it could have been much bigger. But
yeah, it'd be interesting to see, because I think they've confirmed that they're going to do season 2 of that too.
Yeah, wasn't the Tales of the Jedi sort of ideas that Dave Filoni had for Clone Wars but kind of never really gotten to, but then he was able to then just sort of do it?
Yeah, I think that the Ahsoka ones definitely. I think the Count Dooku ones were a bit more difficult because of the time period in which they were set. It was hard to. I think they would have found it hard to jump back quite a way that they did for Count Dooku, because the 3 Count Dooku episodes are set quite a bit before Clone Wars.
He did it too because he wanted to connect some dots with future stuff coming out and stuff in the past. So that's kind of why they were all different, like Visions, but because it was like little lore things that he wanted to kind of use to set up other things and to kind of fill the holes. I wish they were like half-hour episodes at least. But production, money, they got a lot of things going on. I get it. I mean, so it is what it is. But.
Yeah, hopefully the season 2 of Tales of the Jedi are a bit longer, or they just do like more episodes that cover more ground. That'll be fun.
I'm liking the idea that the wrong trousers will be entering Star Wars canon.
I was really hoping for just like Wallace to be Darth Vader or like something like that. But no, honestly, I've been.
This isn't the cheese you're looking for.
Yeah, exactly. It's so well done. Like it's
instead of lightsabers, we're gonna be going around with breadsticks.
Yeah. Oh man, that'd be so good. But yeah, everything you'd expect from an Aardman animation, and like the British humor, the style, like everything, but just set in the Star Wars is very, very enjoyable. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing people's reactions to that one specifically, because that one was cool.
People used to say that I look like him because I have a baby face and big cheeks. People always said that I look like the dude from Wallace and Gromit.
Who's hyped for Sophie?
So apart from apart from the pins, what was your sort of real highlight of the Star Wars celebrations? What was the thing that you really enjoyed the most out of it?
I mean, there's the classic answer of like, oh, it's fun to hang out with friends because obviously like Lauren came over from America, Holly came over from Australia, so like just to have those guys come over and just be able to spend so much time with them was really good fun. But like in terms of the actual convention, I don't know. There's something about just being around people that clear, like just do not like are so authentically. It's kind of weird to say authentically themselves while they're dressed as characters from Star Wars, but like there's something really cool and like I admire a lot from people that will just like go all in on like their costumes, and the atmosphere that it creates is just really, really cool. And you've got people just like going up to like, I guess in a world where, without getting too corny or weird about it, but like in a world where we're like glued to our phones a lot, like there was just so much visual human interaction with each other, like with people. And it was just, yeah, it was just a really nice atmosphere just to wander around. Even if you didn't want to go and do all the panels or anything, like just wandering around, seeing people dressed in their costumes and stuff. It was, yeah, it was. There was some days that were busy, and that was like harder to enjoy. But for the most part, yeah, just like being in that atmosphere and around people that all have the love for the same thing was just a really cool thing to be a part of. And I definitely would consider like cosplaying next time. What that would be, I don't know, but it looks fun to get involved with.
Speaking of
the Walker, the big cardboard box one.
Yeah, so we had joked before that we had found this. I don't know how, like me, Tommy, and our friend Jack and Rosie stumbled across this like YouTube channel, and basically it's just like super low budget Star Wars like fan films. And this guy has got like a cardboard box and he's drawn on like an ATST and he's put it over his head and he's just like walking around his bedroom in his boxers. Like it's so funny. And we joked that we were going to do something like that, but yeah, we did never got around to it. But yeah, there was what looked like a stag do all dressed as like Princess Leia. Like there was just so many like fun things and like group stuff. Like you had like the Rebels gang walking around. Like yeah, it was just really, really, yeah, it was awesome.
Heck, did you see that giant R2D2 like mech? Like it was Gundam style R2D2.
Yeah,
that thing was amazing, dude. That
yeah,
like, and he had like sound effects and everything. Like that thing looked so rad. It was like a giant like Iron Man R2D2 suit on steroids. Like it was really cool.
The general, there was this General Grievous, and I think I remember the General Grievous from 2016, but it was an insane General Grievous. The guy or the girl, I don't really know, was stood like they're like inside the cape, and then they've got their hands like,
oh yeah, dude, like
it's so impressive. And then there was this massive probe droid that kept like doing laps around the thing from one of the droid builders. That was really cool. Yeah, so many. I'm really you guys will really enjoy, I think, Sam's video that he did on the Sunday. He did like cosplay bingo.
So he didn't get out in time to win the bet.
I know. I should have took that money, you know. That was a missed opportunity for a crisp £5. But yeah, so I'm looking forward to that video. He basically had like 25 characters that he had to try find and get a picture with. And yeah, he's just like frantically running around, like screaming at people, like, "Can I have a picture with?" It's just like all the carnage that you'd expect from that Sam Smith.
And that R2D2 was amazing when I saw it, and the video on YouTube was him interacting with an actual like remote control R2D2 droid.
Yeah,
they were like beeping at each other. It was hilarious.
Yeah, it's good.
There's I don't know if you guys know Triumph, the insult dog.
Yeah.
He's like a Conan O'Brien puppet. He's like a dog that always says "for me to poop on" is his line. Like he's a puppet of a dog on the Conan O'Brien show here, the late night show. He did a skit where like he sat in line at Star Wars Celebration and just like started poking at the fans and like they were bantering back. It is hilarious on YouTube. When you have time to watch it, you'll die laughing.
Yeah,
the insult dog. It's so funny. He brought Spock with him. He brought a guy dressed up as Spock, and the guy Spock was like making fun of the Star Wars fans. It's so
nice.
Did you spot anyone at Celebration dressed as a Trekkie, or is that a step too far?
Don't think I did. No, I don't think I did. I think honestly, the only other than like mashups, there was a lot of people that there was like an Anna and Olaf stormtrooper. They basically just had stormtrooper go and then a massive like head, like what you would expect a Disney star, like massive heads. That was there was some really cool mashup ones, but no, the only other person that I saw with non-Star Wars at all was my brother, who showed up in a Spider-Man costume.
I was going to say I saw that. Yeah, Spider-Man.
Yeah. So,
Have you gone to the wrong convention?
Did he have a lightsaber? Did he at least have a
no, he
lightsaber?
did literally nothing. My brother's not a massive. He's like rewatched Star Wars recently. He's not like a huge Star Wars fan, but he used to love going to the conventions. He used to travel quite a bit for them. And so he was just like, you know what? I'm gonna go dressed as Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. So.
The cool thing about those cosplays are always the Mandalorians, because you have creative freedom to dress up as a however you want to make that Mandalorian.
Yeah,
that's how it fits in the canon, anyways. Is they're all Mandalorians are all kind of individuals themselves, and you see some really cool Mandalorian cosplay.
And I think they did a parade as well at one point where it's literally just they did a lap and any Mandalorians were just like following like could join the line sort of thing. That was fun. The other one is the prison break scene from Andor. There must have been 1,000 people in the like uniform from the prison from Andor, and then they just come running down. And Sam's got some footage of it. I don't know if I ended up getting it on my vlog, but Sam got some footage of it. And they're just chanting and stuff throughout the convention. That was something to see. It just kept going and going and going. It was good.
They do the one from Empire too. The running of, I forget. He's a random character that has a random name. It's from Empire Strikes Back, and they do a parade of this character as well. It's like an ongoing joke in the Star Wars community because he has no lines, but he's in like a major scene of Empire. It'll pop in my head after.
Okay.
But it's a parade of this character, and like he's got like an orange jumpsuit. I forget the name of it, but they usually do that every year at Celebration too.
Yeah. There was a big Ahsoka meetup on the Friday or the Saturday out the front. I didn't manage to make it, but Ashley Eckstein went out there and was taking photos with everyone, so that was really nice. There was hundreds of Ahsokas, as you could imagine.
I can't wait for that series. It looks good.
Mm-hmm.
So hyped about that series.
Yeah.
Keep watching the trailer.
Yeah. It's gonna be good.
Yeah, that's Ben's got it. It's the guy with the ice cream maker from Best.
Oh, yeah.
And they do a parade, and everyone holds, because that's where like the Camtono came from. Like they recycled it into the other shows, and Ben got it. That's I forget his name, because they eventually made a figure of the guy.
Yeah,
it's like a random nobody character in Empire. But
Firestar have made a Lego Camtono, haven't they? I need to pick that up.
Well, I mean, I just make brick built ones that, like, I have one over here with tiny. They're easy to brick build as well.
Yeah,
look just like it. So I'm actually kind of upset with them, Firestar, because I bought the Willy Wonka figure they just came out with, and because I usually make like small diorama mocks, and they sell the extra Oompa Loompas in parts, but you can't get the hair. They won't sell you the hair. So I DM with them all the time, because they've asked me to do like jobs and minifig torso art for them, like freelance for them. Mm-hmm. So I was like, dude, you're gonna make people angry because you can't people are going to want extra Oompa Loompas. And
Yeah.
you offer their head, their torso, but no hair. And so you basically have to buy 8 Willy Wonkas to get the Oompa Loompa hairs.
Yeah.
It's like, they're like, yeah, I see your point. It's like, well, that's bad marketing, man. Like, order more hair and don't put the extra Oompa Loompas up for sale until you have the hair.
Yeah.
Like, so because I just literally made that order and I was angry and I DM'd them right away and they're like, no, you're right, but it's a production thing. And so I was like, all right, well then hold off on the extra Oompa Loompas at least. You're gonna, and he's like, there's at least 50 people that have complained. I was like, well, I mean, come on. Like,
well, then maybe you should take note of that. Like, 5-star is strange. I'm still waiting for them to restock their the armorer because I think the helm. I don't know who produced the helmet for them, but whoever did the helmet for the Forge Keeper is so good. So, I really want that one.
They were actually one of the first people to follow me on Instagram. I was shocked. And then they offered me a gig, like freelancing. I was like, how do you even know? I never even posted anything on here. Like, how do you even know that I do graphic design? But I've done some things for them. I like their figures a lot. Like, I think they own minifig.com as well.
Yeah, that's
the
big custom one, right?
Yeah, I think they own it, like their sister companies.
Okay.
Because that Oompa Loompa hair, they got it from the movie It. They did the clown from It, and he had the red hair that comes out, and they just made it green for the Oompa Loompa. But they only ordered like 200 of them in green. I was like, you knew you're going to get Oompa Loompas, and it's a character that people are going to buy a lot of. You want a lot. They should have got more than 200. Supposedly, they have like 1,500 coming in now, they told me, but that's not for a month or two. I would have held back, to be honest, and made the Oompa Loompas separate at the end, but whatever. They make good stuff, so you can't complain too much. Loompas.
Yeah. I think that was I saw that video earlier today, Ben, but I think that was at a different convention. I don't think it was, unless I missed something. I saw her do it at another convention that wasn't just Star Wars. I can't remember what it was, but if she did it at Celebration, I definitely didn't. Although I did see one very, very good armorer and Paz Vizsla walking around, so it could well have been. But the video that I saw of her doing that wasn't at Celebration.
Yeah, I saw that video today too, funnily enough. And yeah, when I was looking at it, I mean, I didn't go, but the background that she was in didn't look anything like the stuff out of your video or the Excel or anything.
Yeah,
so,
and I saw a lot of
it seemed to be
weren't in Star Wars cosplay as well in that video.
But that was it's a pretty cool thing to do, and it's because I was reading somewhere. Obviously, we've had the season finale for Mando. No spoilers. Obviously, we won't talk about. But reading somewhere that they're maybe looking at just doing a movie and wrapping the series up, or did I misread that, or what seems to be related?
So the movie is going to be done by Dave Filoni, and it's going to be a culmination of events of The Mandalorian, Ahsoka, Skeleton Crew, and I think that's it, unless they introduce another show that's set in that like timeline, but specifically because I don't know what that, because they had the Rangers of the New Republic show that was going to come out, but Gina Carano was going to like lead that, but that's obviously not happening now because she got fired.
So they're supposedly they're bringing her back though. There was talks of bringing her back, and then they said they brought her back, and then they didn't. So fingers crossed that they do bring her back. And that show's gone, obviously, but supposedly they're gonna bring her back as that character in like little bits here and there. So, which I think would be cool because
I think so too. I think for what she got took down for, I think it was. I don't know.
I was gonna say I don't know what she said, but it couldn't have been that bad.
I don't think it was as bad as. Yeah, I didn't think it was as bad as people made out, but people jumped on it because it wasn't in line with. It's the other thing is though, I don't know, like you don't know what is in their contract. I know Disney less so with like a lot of their live action properties, but if you are a part of like a lot of the Disney Channel shows, there is like a very strict like code of conduct that you're following, that you have to maintain a certain image outside of you just you being at work kind of thing. Disney have always been quite notorious for putting stipulations in contracts of like how your public perception is and things like that. So I don't know if that like breached any of her actual contract, but yeah.
Well, it's like that even with the employees. Like when I was working there, there's some merchandise and movie promotion on the Star Wars team, and the employees there, they would watch our social media. They're strict with even the employees with that stuff too. So and I wasn't even working on the movies. I was just making like toy boxes and movie posters, and so like, and if you did anything out of line on social media, you were going to HR.
Yeah,
we always joked that they had Walt Disney frozen in the basement. If you got in trouble, you go down to the basement and see Walt.
Yeah, I've been involved with Disney when things wrong through work, and there was, if there's any problem like the gates go down and they can't admit people into the park or something, even if it's just for a short period of time, they've said someone will be fired over it.
Yeah.
It's just something's gone wrong, someone will get fired. It's what happens there. It does seem quite a brutal place to work.
Pretty ruthless. Yeah.
When I was working there, I was shocked. I would say to people, I'm like, how did Tim Burton work here? How did Tim Burton, his personality, how did he get away with working here? Because Tim's like a wild, creative, loose cannon, and like I was shocked that, like, I would say to people all the time, I'm like, how did this guy get, like, yeah, obviously he was talented, he deserved to be there, but like, how did his personality mesh in there is beyond me.
But isn't that why? I mean, he kind of didn't, like, he worked there for a bit, but he didn't kind of fit in, and then he sort of went off and did his own thing, like in terms of Pee-wee's Playhouse he did first, and then obviously Beetlejuice and.
Yeah, and then they wanted
and then he
to
did
buy
that short film. I can't remember whether it was
Frankenweenie one with the dog. He brings back the dog. The kid brings back his dog.
The Vincent Price one.
Oh yeah, there's two of them. One's an animation and one's an actual like short live action film. With the kid from the Neverending Story actually played the owner of the dog. Yeah, the one was just called Vince, with the Vince Price one. It's just called Vince, and he's like a creepy gothic guy. And then there's the Frankenweenie with the kid brings his dog back to life, that's very dark as well. It's good though. It was really good. And then Disney ended up, wanting to buy the whole Nightmare Before Christmas and release it. So when he was working on that, I mean, Tim's obviously a very talented guy, but he has his style, and like I think he fit well with the Pee-wee stuff because he has that wacky kind of brain, like Pee-wee's Big Adventure I still love that movie to this day.
Yeah, it's very when you're watching a Tim Burton film for sure.
Yeah, and that's why when he did the Wednesday series last year, it seemed like that was kind of a return to Tim Burton form. Like a lot of the stuff which he did since Big Fish were, it seemed to be a little bit hit and miss. Like, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, do we really need that remake? I mean, he did put an interesting spin on it. Alice in Wonderland, okay. Like,
yeah, I like the Tim Burton spin on it, but I'm such a hardcore, like the original Willy Wonka stuff is one of my favorite films of all time. And like, there's certain movies you just don't touch, but he did his own little thing with it, which is cool, but it didn't have to be done. I agree. Like, it's like, do you really have to do that? Like,
I think if you're gonna go back and redo one of the classics like that, and make the story more appealing to or like more accessible to a younger audience. I know when I was a kid, watching anything from like the 70s, I just couldn't enjoy. Because of like the quality and like the just how everything just felt so much older. Like I found as a younger kid, I found that like hard to engage with. So sometimes like the remakes can make the stories accessible to more people. And I guess if you're going to make it different enough, it's okay. It's when you're like, if they're just trying to like carbon copy it for the money sake of it, it's a bit like, oh, what was the point? But
Yeah,
sometimes
a lot of the
remakes.
Going from Lion King animated to Lion King, whatever that was.
Yeah. Yeah, live action, but it's hardly a live action lion, is it? Like,
Yeah.
But I mean, have you seen the Aladdin, the live action one? Because so many of Genie's lines in the animated one are references that kids nowadays would not get at all.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's impressions of people who they won't
understand. Yeah,
all these things. So, have they done a decent job of updating all of that in the new one?
I out of a lot of the Disney remakes, I remember I haven't rewatched it, so maybe that says quite a bit. But like, I didn't mind Aladdin. I also quite liked Jungle Book. I couldn't care less for Lion King other than the soundtrack because I really like Childish Gambino, Donald Glover. So that was, but hearing Seth Rogen as Pumbaa, like you just hear Seth Rogen, like it's his voice is just way too distinctive. So that was pretty difficult to watch, and I could not stand Beauty and the Beast. I thought that was not great at all.
Speaking of Little Mermaid, I don't know much about the new live action film, but the set is pretty. It's a little busy, but I expected it to be that because it's like an underwater. It's a giant clamshell with like an underwater reef, and they're trying to do a good guy up top, bad guy at the bottom, and a shipwreck and everything. But people are like hammering on that set hard. I like the design of it personally. It is a little busy, but it's supposed to be. But it's people.
I agree. Yeah, I agree with you.
People were expecting a castle, like an underwater castle, I guess.
Yeah, people were expecting a palace, like a recreation of the palace, which I think would have maybe been cooler, and I would have been more inclined to get it. However, I do really like the design. Had this had the classic Ariel and like Triton and Ursula figures, I think a lot more people would be getting behind it. I think it's because it's based off of the live action movie this year that it's getting a lot of hate because there's obviously a lot of hate towards the film and the characters.
Do you think that the shell closes?
I don't
really tell.
Yeah, I don't know.
I wondered that as well, but I can't imagine it does.
Yeah, I think there's just too much in it for it. Unless you can take all of the bits out and pack it away, kind of thing.
They would also then have to
just be hinged.
They would also then have to make the back of the shell look really good, and I think for the price point, that's probably
true.
Flat back, but yeah, it would be interesting. I'm looking forward to seeing someone mod that. I'm sure.
With today's Lego prices though increased for that, what you get in that set, it's priced pretty decent. I think personally, but I don't know because it looks like it's a pretty big set. I don't know how many parts it is, but it looks pretty big.
Yeah. I like it. I would be tempted to get it.
This was somewhere it's like 1,800 parts.
Yeah, is it 180? Let me have a look.
It looks like it's even more than that, to be honest. But I mean, I don't buy many sets like that, but I might buy it just for the build experience because it's like I know nothing about that the movie, but
and the brick bods are on the podcast rather. It's an 18 plus set as well.
Yeah.
Box.
Which is weird.
Yeah.
That's the thing now when you go into a Lego shop and you just take a look around and half the store is black boxes. It's just I think
from all the package design I've had to do, most clients, not just Disney or anywhere, they always ask for an either all white black version box or all black showing the product. Like that's when you do 3 different, usually they said, all right, give us 3 different versions, and then they do internal reviews and people make comments, but they usually always ask for in the brief one package to have highlighted product, black background. They call it the clean look. And every brand always wants that. Show us a clean one, either all white or all black. So it's, for Lego, it's kind of becoming like the standard thing with the adult stuff, but every brand always asks for that. Every brand. Like I have a portfolio full of them. Because as a designer, it's boring. It's like, all right, I'm going to make a black background and put a photo on there or a 3D render. It's done. There's your version. You know, so it's not fun as a graphic designer to do that, but they always, every brand wants it because it looks clean.
I mean, my son, my 12-year-old, he'll build an 18 plus set. I just don't understand what the marketing is behind it.
Yeah.
I've spoken to someone who said
my perception on it is always.
Sorry, I was just saying that, like, I know someone who they're not particularly into Lego, but they have a kid who is, and you know, the kid, I can't remember how old they are, like early teens, and so therefore he said that when he went into the shop, he couldn't find anything that looked interesting because all of it says 18 plus, and so he assumed it'd be too difficult for them to build. So it was a really weird thing. You have to explain to them, well, no, 18 plus doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be a hard build.
Yeah.
But there's no way for someone who isn't in the Lego community to go in and know whether it is or not.
Yeah.
So it's really confusing for people.
Yeah, it could be a turnoff. I mean, because internally they're looking at it as like it's a price segment thing and an age segment thing just for pricing, and it's more like an internal thing for them. But like you said, it can confuse people and turn them off from buying it when their child can actually really build it. You know, so
yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Some of the box art as well.
Because I had much the same thing.
You'll go, Matt.
It's in one of the department stores, and the kid went over and picked up the Sonic set or whatever, and of course it's in the 18 plus, and the parents looked at it and went, no, that's 18 plus, you can't have it. And it's just like,
yeah,
you know,
I wouldn't. I'll never understand them doing like Winnie the Pooh as an 18 plus set. Like I don't know I don't know who thought, oh, that's a great idea. Like
well, Sesame Street was too, right? Sesame Street was 18
Sesame Street as well, another one, yeah.
But it was idea set, so I guess that's how they categorized it. But I mean, even that idea sets, there's kids can build those too. So it is a weird thing with the way they do that.
Well, I think it gets to what you were saying, starting that it's changed to mean a demographic, like you're targeting 18 plus, you're adults. Whereas before it was very much, this is the level of difficulty. And as even Tech would have said, like it's confusing to the outside person looking in. So
it's shifted the way that like it used to be like a difficulty thing, and now it's shifted to just like an age demographic for sales. So I personally think it can turn people off, like Ian was saying, and it's not the smartest marketing, but they have so many products now online that, I mean, it's kind of, what are they going to do, you know?
But did it really shift 100%? Was it always that a set that was labeled 8 plus, really just for 8 plus people?
Yeah,
I would say so. I mean, you definitely. So obviously with 4 plus, you don't have stickers because it's unrealistic to expect a 4-year-old to put a sticker on a piece of Lego.
I love those sets.
Yeah, I do too. Like the printed parts, I love.
There's definitely differences between a 4 plus and an 8 plus. There's definitely a significant difference in the difficulty of building it. You know, when you're comparing a 6 plus and a 4 plus, apart from the difference in stickers, you might not really notice that much. What does change considerably, though, are the instructions.
Oh, right.
So, and I know a lot of people made fun of the hands picture. So, if you've got a 4 plus set, it shows hands pieces there.
Right.
But that's because it's meant for a 4-year-old to be able to follow. And so the first page says, get these pieces. The
Put them in your
second page is
hands.
put them on. Because otherwise you get kids looking at the instructions, it says to put pieces on, and they'll pick up some of the pieces, put them on, then move on to the next step. But they've not done all of them because they haven't been taught collect those pieces together, so you know that you finished the step. So you will find that as the difficulty increases, the number of pieces you're putting on changes quite dramatically. And they stop showing the hands. They expect you at some point to know that you just collect all the pieces first.
Right.
I still make that mistake.
That makes sense. Because I thought I don't have any children. Because I thought children don't fall from the sky and all of a sudden are 8 years old and build Lego. So I thought there is a building process. First, you help them, apply stickers, and then you sit there and realize, oh, look at that. It's an 8+ set, but you are only 6. You can do that. I will sit here. Ask me if you have trouble. And then they, all of a sudden, they build a module.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of it is the more of experience the kid is with Lego, the higher up they could go anyway. So, but if you've got, say an 8-year-old and they've never built Lego before, and you gave them a 12+ set and they were just left with that by themselves, they may struggle a bit.
Right.
Whereas if they've been building Lego their whole lives, then the 12+ set at the age of 8 is probably not an issue for them at all.
Right.
So, but it's really difficult to get, you will find that some kids will be given Lego as a present. That'll be their first Lego set.
Yeah.
And the parents aren't particularly into Lego, and so it is just down to them to do it. So the age rating does have to imply kind of what a kid should be able to do with no experience.
Right. Yeah. It would be great if they had a double labeling. Keep the 18+, but have something smaller on it, like building experiences.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. Like a buildability kind of rating.
Right.
But then is there any point in putting the age rating on?
I guess not. Yeah, just do it, because like, what's the point? Like, obviously, like a target market is very different from, or it can be very different from the build ability. So, and like the target market thing is kind of like, I don't know, to put 18+ on a box that could be built by someone that's a lot younger than that, but when all your other boxes are suggested, it just seems like it seems counterproductive to put an estimated build, an estimated age for your buildability across all the products until 18+, when it's just a marketing thing, when they've already got like black boxes that are very specifically targeted for 18. Like, you could do black boxes and then still put like 14+ on it, or like, and keep it consistent with how they're doing their other things. I think, I don't know.
Right.
And I think the 18+ stuff, it's to try. So they've obviously put a lot of effort to try and combat the idea that Lego is just for kids.
Mm-hmm.
But they could do that some other way. Like, they could just put adult welcome on the box kind of thing. Have that as the logo rather than using 18+.
Yeah.
Well, it's ironic too, because they call that in, like, when you're doing package design, they call it the branding system, and in Lego it has the Lego system itself, so it's kind of like a play on words. But there's always, like, when I used to do a lot of soft drink stuff, that you have to do like the flavor system. So if you design one, design has to be able to work for every like flavor and make it look still in the same system. And it's the same with marketing strategy, but there's always an outlier. There's always going to be one that's like an outlier. It's always a challenge. So it's interesting, because like this whole conversation, it's like you can never really fully nail it down, because every consumer is going to be different and think differently. And so it to me, like you said, Ian, it is kind of a turnoff to some people that think that you have to stick to that age, like to build it.
Yeah.
And there are differences in challenging levels, because there is one thing like a technic set, which is really challenging, and if you make a mistake, it hurts. And then there is something like the Death Star. It's not really difficult to build. It's just if an 8-year-old all of a sudden sits in front of these mass of amount of Lego, it's overwhelming. They
Yeah.
can build it. It's just, do they have the patience to sit hours and hours in front of it? And it takes ages to really see the progress that you make.
Yeah, and I guess so. I mean, do they show in Germany? Do they show the number of pieces on a set?
No.
No, because in America, obviously, you could go look at a set and go, "That's got 2,000 pieces in it. I'm not going to buy that for a kid because the kid's not going to do that." Whereas the fact that they don't put the piece count in Europe makes it a bit harder for people to assess that.
Right.
Because if you're not accustomed to Lego, as I say, you're not the fan, you're buying it for a child, looking at a set and guessing whether they're, massive panel pieces or individual 1x2 bricks, you're not going to get that.
Right.
So maybe
And
that's
you would have to evaluate it, because a massive set with loads and loads of pieces can be fun for a child if it has, like in an advert calendar, it has 24 bags, but there are small bags and they can do one bag and have something fun to build.
Yeah.
I think it's only the US that does the piece count too. I mean, it's a legal thing.
I think so.
Yeah.
Which is weird that it's a legal thing, but we have stupid legal rules here when it comes to the packaging. That's another thing I used to hate is you would do this beautiful layout for something, and then the brand manager comes in and they're like, "All right, now we have 4 paragraphs of legal copy. You have to shoehorn it." You should have given that to me up front, like. Especially with that, like I was saying, the clean look, was when Apple started making products and they started to call that look the Apple look. Everyone's like, make it all white with just minimalistic with our product right there, big, and make the logo huge.
Yeah. Apple are to blame for a lot of bad stuff.
But it's weird. There's always crazy legal copy on the United States packaging for everything. It's annoying. We have some pretty dumb rules. Laws.
The fact that you can't get
I
Tinder
don't
in America.
understand the piece count you've got to put on the boxes in the States. I mean, what real difference does that make? Like, oh, it's got 3 pieces less than what it should. False advertising. Like, what?
Yeah, it's a legal thing. I forget what it's a legal thing. I forget exactly what it is, but it's definitely a legal stipulation.
You sold me more pieces. I'm gonna sue you.
I'm assuming it's the kind of to try and make it so that you can compare products, kind of thing.
Yeah,
and it makes sense for some things. Like I can imagine if you were selling boxes of eggs without telling people how many eggs were in the box, that would be a problem.
Yeah.
So you say you have to say how many things are in it. By the time you get into a Lego set, the piece is meaningless.
Yeah, it is, because it can be so hyperinflated if you're talking like a dot set, or it can be so and I think that's probably why they don't do it everywhere. I think also because there's a lot of like realistically, right? Who's ever bought a Lego set because they've gone, oh, that's got a lot of pieces in just for the sake of having a lot of pieces in? There's a lot of like, I think if they were to put the piece count on the box everywhere, a lot of people would start really looking at like, looking at it a bit like a puzzle, right? Where you've got like, oh, this is like 1,000 pieces. This is going to be a harder thing, or this isn't very good value for money. When Lego it's so misleading. Like the piece count for Lego, I think, is so misleading to a consumer, because like I said, it could be a dot set that's very easy with tons of pieces, or it could be a more complex build that's very, very small. And
if I like a Lego set, I'll buy that set. I don't bother how many pieces is in it. If I like it, then I'll buy it and I'll build it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like the Razor Crest, for example. I think it's got like 5,000 pieces. If it had 7,000 pieces, or if it had 2,000 pieces, and it looks good, I'm buying it because it's a Lego Razor Crest. I'm not buying it because I'm getting this amount of pieces for my money. That's why I never quite understand the concept of like price per piece, unless it's like, I guess dots is a fairer example if you're like looking at like the dots packs and stuff and you go, I'm getting, and you don't need them for anything specific other than you're trying to like build up your collection. The same with the like creator boxes and stuff like that. Kind of makes sense to say how many pieces you're getting in it, because it's like all fairly equal, and you're buying it because of the quantity of the brick as opposed to the model that it's going to create. But yeah, I never really understand the argument for price per piece, especially when people are comparing it so heavily with the price.
And also, if you look at the box, say for instance the Razor Quest, it's a massive box that you can see physically in front of it. You can tell it's going to have a lot of pieces. You know what I mean?
Unless
Whereas
it
you
is
get a
an
little
almost empty box. Maybe that's the one, the crisp phenomenon, that you rather bought more air than actual crisp.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's a whole new argument.
They do have very strict FDA and CPG, consumer packaged goods laws here. So like, even you have to, when we put fonts on the box, they have to be a certain size legally. There's certain like the legal copy definitely has to be a certain size. Otherwise, the lawyers at wherever client you're working for, the FDA will turn it down. And so we just have weird rules here when it comes to the FDA and the CPG stuff. Like you wouldn't think it, but like I said, font sizes, certain things have to be a certain color sometimes, like for legal reasons. Like they're just really strict about it here.
Yeah.
And you can see why. So I think you've seen videos where people have done like price per piece comparisons for different themes, and surprisingly, things Jurassic World tends to come out really, really badly in that.
Yeah, I wonder why.
Because one of those pieces is a T-Rex.
Yeah,
and so half the plastic in the box goes into one piece. So you can see why, if you were in a shop and you're buying a set for a kid, you look at two and one has a piece count of 300 because it's got two massive dinosaurs in, and then another set has 1,000 in. You'll go, well, clearly I'll go for the 1,000 one. It's got to have more value because it's got more pieces.
Yeah.
So people would be making those decisions when looking at stuff, and I think that's what they don't want. They want you to look at the box and go, do I think this is worth the money based on what I can see?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, Americans can be cheap too. So we can be cheap about things. So,
but then, cheekily enough, Ian, that argument falls apart when you look at a hidden side box and you have no idea what you're getting.
Yeah. Maybe that's why that didn't do well. Hidden side was a mess.
Oh, the sets were so good, man.
Yeah, they just marketed them terribly.
Marketing was poor.
They were probably when you bought one, not realizing you already had it because you couldn't work out that it was that set based on the box art.
Yeah, I could get what they definitely, for the brief, probably said, hey, can we show what this technology works like on the box? And that front panel was like showed, it was like, if you look at it, it's like split half and half, so you see kind of what the game is to it, and it made no sense. Like it didn't come off very well. But someone was definitely saying, hey, we got to make this look like the app somewhat, and that was definitely not their normal style guide of Lego for sure.
The amount of times I'd walk into the supermarkets and the boxes would be all lined up backwards. Yeah, because it was clearly showing what the set was. That's funny.
Can you read any more about this dream set?
It sounds fun.
Yeah, it sounds cool. isn't it supposed to be like time cruisers? People are saying, but it's gonna have monsters in it. I guess like it's about time travel and different monsters and things like that.
Okay.
I read something that said it was like they travel into people's dreams.
That makes
But
sense.
I've not seen anything official on that, so that could just mean someone guessing what it was. I don't know.
Yeah. Same thing like I heard of just people saying that they think it's this or that. Like, but that makes sense. Like time travel or dream travel or whatever. I wish you would think that Lego would be putting out more information about it. But when is it supposed to come out?
Is it August or June? I don't think.
I
Yeah.
think it's August.
It's not that far away.
Yeah.
I think
It's not.
Yeah, because you've only really had the teaser of the 4 different images where it's sort of like a minifigure and it looks like a big character, and it's sort of like, well, is that big character going to be included? Is it going to be brick built? Is it going to be like it could be interesting to see which way it goes.
Yeah.
Talking of dreams, I think it might be time for me to head to bed.
Nice. So
Little tangent there.
Have you been talking to
Segue.
Greg about how to do segues? Is that what's going on?
That wasn't sorry, that was way better than a Greg segue.
Yeah, I was going to say it actually made sense.
Yeah.
Usually it's sort of like, oh, and speaking of dumb things which I'm about to do, Harry, what's going on?
I see. I'm gonna
So,
tag
anyway.
out just before Kerry arrives because that way there's less confusion with names as well. But also, bye, Kerry.
you guys did that.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, I think she's in the green room. So
Good to see you. Have a good
Bye,
one,
Gary.
and
Have a good night.
we'll trust
You
you
too,
to tell
enjoy.
us everything that you're going to be doing a bit later on.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm sure you will.
Yeah. I'm sure I know what we're doing at the moment.
You're doing an in the city one.
Oh yeah, I remember.
Although Snowlena has a thing here, traveling into people's dreams. That's not creepy at all.
Well, Hidden Side Box definitely, like when I first saw it, I was like, oh, that has brand manager written all over it saying, make it look like, bring the app to life on the packaging for us. And it just confused because they didn't show the product that well. So it was like, it was very heavily focused on the app in the illustration, which is kind of hard to do. It's like to interpret that to somebody. So it definitely, when I saw it, I was like, dude, someone definitely told the designer to go that route.
Yeah, so have we heard anything about whether Dreams is going to be app based?
I don't know.
You know, they've not tried making an app for a little while now, so maybe that is it. But because I think I heard there is going to be like episodes available through YouTube or somewhere to be able to watch on it.
Oh yeah, I heard there's a TV show assigned with it.
Yeah.
Or web.
Involved. That is the best way to ruin a theme for Lego, to try and make an app.
You're going to say they're not. They haven't got the best track record for apps, have they?
No.
Speaking of no apps, that's interesting. The Sonic that they kind of did. They learned from Mario not to do the electronics section of it, and the Sonic sets are all. You know, you build the set, you shoot them through the set with this little ball contraption, but it's not. There's no app. It's all done just the kid can just play with it on its own without the app.
Yeah,
because it's the same thing as Mario.
Mine it seems to be based more off the Sonic stuff. Seems to be more based off the TV shows, like not a specific one, but it's less about the game and more about. Because you know, in terms of Tails having his workshop and the DJ part of it and things like that, like that's very much in the ilk of the TV shows.
Why couldn't we get the what's the enemy's guy's name, the egg robot guy? Why couldn't we get his minifig in the idea set? They had to. Yeah. He looks great in these little pictures I saw in the play sets.
And those long legs in black is going to be great for custom figures.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, Kerry's in the green room, Matt. I don't know if you've seen.
Is she? I'm sorry.
Oh, she was.
Oh, okay.
I was so curious for a long time how they were going to like whenever Sonic got brought up on live streams. I'm like, well, how are they going to do this little contraption where they shoot them through? And I kept saying it's got to be a sphere, and that's what they ended up with. But the part looks interesting. I mean, how else are you going to make him roll through a set? You know, like it has to be something round.
I think it's going to become highly
told
scrapped.
that thought there for a sec. I'm just doing us in. Apologies, I didn't quite realize there's so many people there. It's Kerry. How are you going this evening?
I've been in the green room for half an hour.
No.
Hi, I'm good, thank you.
Because I'm doing this off my laptop, I've got 6 people there, and the 7th one is actually down below, and you got to scroll down to see it.
It's fine. I've been having a lovely chat with the chat.
Anyhow.
It's all good.
Hi, Kerry.
Hi, Trevor. Was it Trevor? Hi,
Yeah.
Studs. Studs here.
Hello.
Hi. So, are we allowed to discuss Mando? Yeah, no.
Not the.
No, he told us not to.
No, not.
I
put my T-shirt on.
I love that shirt art. I love that shirt art.
I'm still in work gear, so yeah.
That shirt art is great.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I was just waiting for one of
I
those
just can't
shirts
believe they killed him off.
We said no spoilers. You just spoiled it for everybody.
Have you seen that he was in an interview and he was talking about how like he's finally getting recognized on the street and stuff, which happened a little bit with Game of Thrones, but now with Mandalorian is happening a lot more, which is confusing because he always wears a helmet. So he ended up on the street, like, and this guy like, oh, my son loves it. Can you like FaceTime him? It's like, so he's FaceTiming a 6-year-old who clearly has no idea who he is.
Yeah, who he is, yeah.
And so then, it's like, oh no, do the Mando voice. And it's like, well, the Mando voice is a little bit creepy.
Bedtime. He was saying, I saw the interview where he's like,
"Hi, how are you?"
He's like, do it, and he's like, I can't do the bedroom voice to kids. He's like, I feel awkward because it's like he's like, you do it as like a bedroom voice, and he's like, I'm doing it to children, and it's like, yeah. I saw the interview where he was talking about that. It was pretty funny.
Yeah,
that's what he called it, a bedroom. He's like, I got to get into like a bedroom voice when I do it, and he did it like on the interview. He did it like just the way he did the bedroom voice, and it was funny because he's like, people always ask me to do it, and I feel awkward to do it to children.
And all the ladies just went, "Oh my god." I love that man. He's beautiful. Anyway, back in the room.
All he's got to say is, "This is the way."
Yeah. That shirt art is great though, with the reds, Trevor, on there, like the reflection. I love that shirt art. It's really good.
Yeah, it's cool.
It was one I found on eBay.
It's cool with the reflection on the top. I like it a lot.
Yeah.
I had to last week. So I've had a dodgy fire stick that I've been watching various things on, and just before the episode last week, I put it on and it stopped working.
It died, yeah.
So I had to pay for Disney. Very cross. Actually, to be fair, I'm quite glad I didn't have because I've watched so much stuff. Yeah, I watched so much rubbish stuff as well. I watched the Predator. My hubby made me watch it. So cheers for that.
Have you guys seen or heard of the new Legorado, the Western, that remake they're doing of the Western sets? Like is it Fort Legorado or whatever?
Yeah. That's cool. They're doing a lot of like the classic they're doing a few different classic sets from like Pirates and Castle.
Yeah.
Right? I think that's pretty cool.
I was never into the big Lego Western because I was more in the late 70s, early 80s. I was into classic space mostly and a little bit of Castle, but Western kind of came afterwards. So I don't know much about it, but it looks cool. The original set looks pretty cool. So
yeah.
It's funny because when I was a kid, they didn't call it the Galaxy
Because
Explorer.
it felt like most of those westerns were done in the 90s.
Yeah, I think like later 90s.
I'm just going to show this to Fab Blonde as if she's still here. She said she was going to go, but that's where I got
Wow.
Oh, it looks awesome.
That is incredible.
Yeah.
There we go.
It's come a long way since last week, too.
Yeah. I put loads of travel on
Oh, wow.
It looks
I've
great.
run out of green bits now, though, so.
Yeah.
That looks great.
Yeah.
I love the textures you did with everything in the play. It looks
Yeah.
awesome.
I've taken the bottom plate off because I didn't like it. It was too much. I was going to
wow.
put things around it, but I thought I'll get rid of that. And now I just need to. I've also just noticed if I look at it that way, there's nothing on those sides. I've been doing it that way and put loads on that side, but not on this side. Better turn it around and do that, haven't I? Oh, there's nothing on the back. Look.
It looks awesome.
Yeah.
So I just need to just put make a floor in it now and then. Yeah. But that's what I've been doing. And I think she's already gone, so she's not seeing it because she wants to see it. I'm going to send her a message. But I have totally run out of large leaf pieces now. I thought I had loads, unless I put them somewhere. I'm not sure where. So I'm going to have to.
That's one thing I always try to order a lot of parts of. The little leaf pieces and foliage. I always try to have a lot of foliage, even though I don't build that big. I always use those parts somehow, so I try to keep them stocked up.
Well, I thought I had a lot, but now I do not have a lot because a lot of it's in there. And,
that's always the issue.
Yeah.
That's always the issue. That's why I try to keep as many as I can. Like even if I'm not working on a mock that has them and I see them, I just buy them because I end up using them.
What do you think to those new fern pieces that were in the Rivendell set?
Oh, they're so cool.
I love those things.
Because I noticed I've used them in one of the new, am I right, Tech, one of the new dioramas in Star Wars.
Yeah, I think it's in the Endor one, right?
Yeah, they put some in Endor.
Yeah.
It does look, it's a really nice piece.
Mm-hmm.
You know what's interesting about that piece is in the latest CMF minifigs, the carrot, it's the top of the carrot, but it doesn't come off on the carrot. They just used that mold and made a different part. But so it's the same thing that's on the carrot head, but the carrot head that doesn't come off of it. But they use that mold and just cut the bottom off, obviously, but it's exactly what's on the top of the carrot head.
I might go and get my Endor set and rip it apart and use all the pieces. I haven't built that yet, actually. Where is it? Oh, I don't know where it is. I'll have to look out for that.
I got a bunch of the glow-in-the-dark carrot parts from the Avatar set. I lucked out. They had them in the New York City AFOL.
Nice.
That is incredible.
Yeah.
That really is.
Yeah, because I really paid a lot of money for mine, and I really don't have. That's all I have. It's really not much, and it's all. I think it's more worth than gold, probably.
At first I got 50, and then there was none left, and then I had to bribe the store manager with shirts to get more.
Wow.
I do love those pieces in the avatars because I've got all the avatars for the first collection before they moved on to the new movie. And when you switch the lights off at night, or I've got them in the cabinet in the hall, they just illuminate, and it's just lovely to see. It really is nice. Takes on their own little meaning.
Right.
Oh, and Trevor, one of the Avatar Way of the Water sets was on sale today on Amazon too. I don't know if you saw that.
Really?
Which one was that? No, I didn't.
Which one? It's one of the ones which I ordered it. Just give me a sec. It was one of those ones where I think it was normally £20, and they had like a, if you click the buzz, like a £5 voucher sort of thing. So
Right, I'll have to look at that.
Do I need one? It's not got very many pieces.
The number is 75575.
Is it only one minifig? Oh, it's got
The one with the big whale thing, Carrie is saying.
the big whale thing. No,
Yeah, it's this is the small one, but I think the one with the big whale is also about £20 off at the moment as well.
It's the one with the
Like it's normally
whale that
about
I haven't
90, and I
got,
think
yeah.
it's selling for about 70 at the moment.
Right. Okay, thank you. Yeah, that's
What
the
are
one
the-
I haven't got.
What are those things called? They're like the banshees from the first movie, but in this new one, they're like water banshees. They're not like the big whales, but they look like the flying banshees, but it's like a water version of it. Do you guys know what those are?
Discounted as well. The Tree of Souls discounted.
That's a lovely set, Kerry.
I know what you're talking about. I just don't know the names.
Yeah. I'm bad with those Avatar names. Really bad.
It's got 4 minifigures and a horse.
The Tree of Souls has a lot of really nice pieces in it as well.
Oh, yeah.
I know, but I'm very skint at the minute. Stop it right now. No.
Mhm.
Okay.
Under
Well,
a
we did
black
you on the
light,
fuzzball.
under a black light too. The Tree of Souls like glows like crazy. Like the pink parts really like pop if you put a black light on it.
That's incredible.
And with any more pennies on Lego until I've paid for my love bulk. Oh, Ian, I need to speak to you about my love bulk.
Okay.
And another person.
Almost sounds like a secretary here. Brickaskew, I'm glad I'm being given because it makes it easier to resist the temptation of buying sets that I might not build or have space for.
Yes.
Yeah, that's until you realize that getting sets is sometimes the cheapest way to get parts. That's certainly something that Stud does a bit of, don't you?
Great hauls.
Yeah, I mean that's how I used to. I used to not do the pad wall and just like build with what I got from sets, and then I kind of shifted to that. But yeah, I'm more of that. Yeah, I buy sets for parts basically, not for the. When I buy a set, I don't display it. I build it, tear it down, and it goes into the parts bin, and they usually get used in a mock. So, and then I keep the instructions, and so like if my niece comes over or somebody, like their eyes get wide because I'm like, here, you could build whatever you want. You know, I have a stack of instructions, but they have to do the work. They have to find the parts. They have to go and find the parts. So.
Stud, those are called skim wings.
Skim wings, that's what it is.
Skim wings.
That's a weird name.
Yeah. Well, Avatar's a bit strange to begin. Like it's a little out there.
I love the sets because when you've got them all in a cabinet, like I've got them, the colour, all the range of colours, just beautiful. Beautiful to look at. Beautiful set.
I'm a fan of grey and tan. Star Wars, Harry Potter.
I want Harry Potter dioramas. I can't wait till they start doing that.
Is that something that's on the card, Stud?
There's been rumors about it. I'm not sure. There's been rumors that they're going to do it. And it kind of makes sense because eventually they're going to run out of, not run out, but it's going to get more limited to what sets they can make. They're going through all these movies and doing. So it would make sense. I mean, they've been successful with Star Wars. They should make Potter dioramas.
Yeah.
I do love the Star Wars ones.
Yeah, so do I. I like that style of set.
Yeah.
I think they're such a lovely set as well to display.
Later, Kara.
Yeah.
Is my voice being very low? Because Convict says he can't hear me.
It is a little bit quiet, but
It was before when you were talking to Ian about bug bulk and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying not to talk loud because the hubby's asleep in the next bedroom. That's why. Yeah.
Well, speaking of Harry Potter, they're doing a TV series. We were talking about this, Carrie, on Fab's channel. Like you were telling me.
What they're going to do is they're going to do the TV series, I think, from the books. So every book is going to be a series with 10, 12 episodes.
Yeah.
So hopefully there's going to be extra in it. Like they've missed so much in the films. Like there's characters that have missed out and like things that happen, such as like the kitchens, and there's like Winky the house elf that you just and there's like a massive second story that goes along with I think it's the third book, that they just totally miss out in the films because they didn't have time or space. So hopefully that'll all come in with the TV series, because they'll have like 7-8 hours worth to do for one book as opposed to 3.
Is it live action or animated?
I hope it's live action. I'm not sure.
But it's going to be interesting because like the main characters are so distinctive in look.
Yeah.
How's that going to work? Are people going to accept a new bunch of actors coming in to play them?
I mean,
And when Lego makes a
franchise.
Hmm.
They've done it for like. They've done it for. X-Men
For Star Trek,
and
Star Trek, they really did a
yeah.
good job.
Hmm.
The Picard series has been great. The Picard series, I like that series a lot.
Yeah. But even the classic one, if someone would have told me that they are going to cast a new Kirk, McCoy, Scotty, I would have thought you are insane. Those are classic characters. You cannot just switch them off. And then they took someone like Carl Urban.
Yeah.
I love them from The Lord of the Rings, and then I saw them as McCoy, and I thought, that's genius. He is the one, despite knowing him for so long.
But I think Star Trek had the slight advantage that, when they brought in particularly like when they brought in Kirk and stuff, they were doing it as a different age.
Right.
Yeah.
Therefore, you're not expecting them to look the same. You're expecting them to look young, and then you get to know them, and so you then start seeing them work, and it works. With Harry Potter, because they're going to be going in, they're doing exactly the same ages.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a bit more jarring for people.
Right.
I thought they were going to do a like the kids, like Harry Potter kids as adults in a new like film. So they're just grown up and they're going to kind of make a new storyline of it, like just extend the storyline. But then Carrie was saying they were doing this TV show, and which makes sense. I mean, totally to do it to the books.
No, hopefully. I think it's like there's a lot of. Because, I mean, obviously there's the thing with J.K. Rowling at the minute. Nobody actually wants to work with her. So
yeah,
you're going to have to get over that first. Of course, if it's going to be directly based on her book, she's going to have to be involved. So,
yeah, she's really strict about her property.
You can't blame her, really. That's where all the money is. We shall see.
But yeah, I was talking to a guy at work who's into Harry Potter quite a lot, and he was like, "It's too soon."
I see what you're saying, Ian. People might get jarred about it, because they're so used. Those characters are so iconic and attached to those kid actors that people might get jarred at first a little bit.
But I think it's because none of the kind of spin-off stuff has worked. None of it has taken, and so they've gone back to what did work. If it doesn't, then maybe Harry Potter will just die off.
I don't mind Fantastic Beasts. I like Fantastic Beasts. I was kind of upset when they changed the characters. Johnny Depp got in trouble and they changed that. That kind of was upsetting. But I didn't mind Fantastic Beasts. I liked it.
I enjoyed it. However, I actually thought I'd not seen the second film, so I watched it again, and it turns out I had seen it. Just didn't have a reflection of it.
A lot of people didn't like it compared to the Harry Potter stuff, but I didn't mind it.
I think I watched it on a plane, so I didn't really see it properly, and I forgot that I'd watched it.
But I mean, originally they'd planned to do a lot more of those films, and that's all been canned, hasn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I don't think they did as well as they thought they were going to do. So I don't mind it. I like Johnny Depp though. So when he was in, even the end of the first one, and then he was in the second one, I like him as an actor. So I enjoyed it. But when they had it. And even though the third one when they changed the actor, that actor was great too. He's a great actor as well. I mean, he's in Star Wars and he's a very successful actor. But that character Depp did such a good job with that character that it kind of threw me off.
Depp's always a hard act to follow, isn't he?
Yeah. I didn't really like him as Willy Wonka, though. To be honest, I didn't. Not that he did a bad job. I didn't like the creep version of it. I didn't like the way they did the Oompa Loompas. So, but that's one of my all-time movies is that first Willy Wonka. So.
You can't beat Gene Wilder.
Oh yeah, he's the man. I love that actor. He was great too when he teamed up with Richard Pryor all the time, and he was doing like Richard Pryor. He was so good. They were a good team together.
Yeah, that what was that?
Which one?
That movie with Richard Pryor and
there's Hear No Evil, See No Evil.
What was it? Hear No Evil, See No Evil?
Yeah, Hear No Evil. Yeah. And there's three of them. There's another one. There's a couple. Hear No Evil, See No Evil was one of the more edgier, popular ones, but they did a few together. Hear No Evil, See No Evil was funny though. Okay. That was a fun movie.
Yeah, that is a very good film. It's a cult classic that still works.
I can't hear you. I can't see you.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's sort of like when the cop's going and trying to understand it. So between the two of you, you both saw it and heard everything, and it's like, no, you didn't see it and you didn't hear it.
I wish I could remember the names of the other movies because they did a few together. I know that.
Yeah, they did. I'm trying to think actually. We'll remember it at 2 a.m. I'll have to Google it actually. It's going to annoy me now.
Wibbly wobble. Wobbled up the wibbly. Lego Harry Potter theme is one of the top successful Lego themes and it's been for a few years now.
Oh, it's definitely up.
Brick Askew.
No, Ollie.
Silver Streak. Never heard of that one.
So, Kerry earlier talking to Tech about Star Wars Celebration and what he really liked about it and things. What were some of the highlights for you?
Oh, I don't know. It was just watching Andy Serkis on stage. That was amazing. There's just the immense size of the place. I think I wasn't expecting that. It was just so big. And just being able to see any form of Star Wars memorabilia that you wanted was there somewhere that you could just pick up. I wish I'd have known about the badges. I wasn't aware of those badges, so that was kind of annoying.
You saved yourself a lot of money.
I just wish I was there for more than one day.
Tech will be bored with his in a couple of weeks.
I forgot they existed.
But yeah, I just want to do it again. And also, in fact, a friend had gone. I didn't actually realise he'd gone. I didn't see him, but he was in full Mandalorian costume as well.
Oh, nice.
Like, where were you? I probably walked past him 3 or 4 times.
Yeah.
Didn't realise he was there.
I was talking with Tech about it. I'm a sucker for the Black Series helmets. I'm a big sucker for these things.
Awesome.
Wow.
This one is one of the rare ones. This one was only put out for a little while, but
yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
They've really took advantage of that mold though, because they've done like Boba Fett. They've done that one. They've done.
Oh yeah,
That's what's true. But they've definitely got their money's worth out of that helmet.
yeah,
mold.
Bo-Katan. Yeah, they've done a lot.
Yeah,
Of them.
I've got the Bo-Katan one. It's so nice.
Did you go out in that stuff?
I have ridden my bike around New York City with it on.
Nice.
Not gonna lie, I nearly did buy a helmet, and then I was like, no, don't do it. That'll just be another thing to look. Do you remember that Chewbacca roaring mask?
Yeah.
It's a kid's mask. I've got that somewhere. Definitely made for kids though. It doesn't fit your head properly. I needed that, you know.
The cool thing with those helmets too, especially the Mandalorian versions, is that the rangefinder comes down and it's clear and it lights up. So you can, when you put the rangefinder down, you see it glows like red or green, and it's like it's very, very detailed. They've done a great job with it.
Nice.
Wow.
Did you enjoy the episode, Kerry?
The Mandalorian.
Yeah.
I did, however, nothing happened that I thought was going to happen. I was like waiting for stuff to happen, and it just didn't. And that's what happens when you watch conspiracy theories. So I was like, but, okay, fair enough. But what just happened? I literally got to the end and was like, what just happened?
The Ahsoka series looks great, and like people get mad at me when I bring it up, but there's not going to be as much Rebels in there as people think. I mean, I've heard it firsthand from people I used to work at Disney with. Like, the characters are in there, but not as much. It's more of a new storyline. So people are getting their hopes up that it's going to be this live action Rebels, and it's really not.
It's just weird how much they've put like Natasha Liu, is it, that plays Sabine? They've tied her very in a lot of the promo and the press that I've seen for it. She's in a lot of the interviews with Rosario Dawson, so it seems weird that they would then limit that. I don't know.
Well, they're in the show, but it's just not the story. Okay. They're in the show. I'm not saying they're not in the show. But it's not. They're like smaller sub characters in the show. They're not as much as like. It's going to be more about tying into the Mandalorian season 2 with the Ahsoka show with the female warlord. Yeah. Like, there's going to be a lot of Thrawn in it, obviously. The 2 new Inquisitors, but so people like misunderstand when I say that. They're in the show, but they're just not. A lot of people are thinking, "Oh, this is going to be tons of live action Rebels," and it's really not.
Yeah, I did like the little preview we got of Sabine on Lethal, like on the highway. Like that looked really good in live action.
The show looks amazing. I mean, I'm excited for it. Definitely. I mean, I've been waiting for Thrawn in live action for a long time.
Mm-hmm. I'm so worried. I'm like gearing myself up. Like I haven't been this excited for a Star Wars. I've always gone into all the other shows quite skeptical. And so this one's the first one that I've really gone into with a lot of hype, and I'm really worried that I'm setting myself up to be disappointed. But I'm going to ride the wave.
The production value looks amazing compared to what else they put out. It looks really good. Like and it's like that's a Dave Filoni's baby is Ahsoka. I mean, he created the character, so he's gonna go hard in the paint on it. He's gonna I'm worried about these 2 new Inquisitors if they're gonna be like that can ruin it for me. But we'll see.
What, the 2 Inquisitors that were in Boba Fett? Those ones?
No, there's 2 new ones in Ahsoka. There's new. They work for.
Are they Inquisitors? I thought they were going to be dark. I thought they were going to be.
Well, yeah, they're the Empire. People are calling them Inquisitors, but they're the enemy. Basically, they work with the female warlord. I forget her name. She's Bruce Lee's niece. She was in the Mando season 2. I forget what her character name is.
Wait, who you on about? Sorry, Steve?
I forget the character name from. She's the female warlord in the Ahsoka.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah, I don't. I'm not sure.
That's actually
Bruce Lee's niece.
That's Bruce Lee's niece. Yeah.
Could you imagine saying I'm Bruce Lee's niece? Okay, don't mess.
She's in a lot of other movies actually that I've seen.
There's a rumor going around that I don't know if any of you are familiar with like Jedi Fallen Order or any of the story of that. I'm certainly not. I watched like a 10-minute recap of everything you need to know about Jedi Fallen Order and the story earlier. But like, there's this one character that's one of the Night Sisters from. That's just my recap of it. I was like, yeah, I can watch a 10-minute video rather than playing a 10-hour game or whatever. But one of the characters is one of the Night Sisters, and was meant to be the last of their kind. But apparently, in like a brief, when that episode from season 2 of Mando come out, that woman, the like warlord, was meant to be from Dathomir. So it's like there's some speculation that could be the woman from Jedi Fallen Order.
Well, that's what my buddy from Disney did say, that there's a lot of her in Ahsoka. It's going to tell a lot of the backstory of that warlord. So
that'd be cool.
Dude, I would love to see some Dathomir Night Witches in live action. That would be
that would be sick.
And I love the Rebels series. I love Rebels. I watched it. I mean, I convinced Ryan Eminar, you never watched it, and I used to hammer him in the comments. Be like, dude, you have a Star Wars? I said, DM him like, you have a Star Wars channel, you never saw Rebels.
Mm-hmm.
He watched it, he liked it, but it's just like, I think a lot of people are expecting Ahsoka to be heavy Rebels, and it's like they've already kind of told that story, you know. Yeah, we're getting these characters in live action, but they've already told that story, so and we'll see. It looks amazing either way.
Yeah. There seems like there's going to be a lot of antagonists in it, which worries me. That's going to dilute time from like Thrawn and this other lady if they've got these two Inquisitor-esque people as well. Yeah, like I'm worried that's going to take away. There's not going to be as much Thrawn as people want.
I agree. That's what I meant earlier when I said they can or whatever. They could go too heavy with it and ruin it. But we'll see.
Yeah.
I wonder if Zeb is going to be in it. You know, they teased him, obviously. In Mando, they teased Zeb, so.
Yeah. I love Zeb so much. What a guy.
He looked great in live action. He looks really good in live action.
Look at that guy.
He's just funny.
Mm.
Oh, that's cool.
Don't tell anyone it's an off-brand head. But...
yeah, I was going to say, he only came in one set, right?
Yeah, the ghost. Yeah. Oh, sorry.
The off-brand ones look cool, though, too. They were done well, the off-brand ones.
Yeah, it doesn't want to focus. But just a Rebel pilot body and a Zeb head. I do have the Zeb figure. I can't remember where I put it though, which is very worrying.
Especially for that one, it's very expensive.
Yes. Oh my god! Speaking of expensive minifigures, have you seen the one listing for Paz Vizsla in UK on Bricklink now?
It's like 60 quid.
Oh, the last one I think, or at least earlier, was £100.
No, there's one on eBay for 60 quid.
Oh, is there one? Okay, but I mean, I don't need one. I've got one of the sets, but like that is outrageous. Like I'm in a £25 set. Like,
and you still can't get the set. That's what's really annoying.
Yeah.
I never bought that set. I regret not getting it, but not really, because I mean, I'm not a big fan of that character, but I wanted. I was one of those sets I should have got, and I hated the design. Was horrible. The figs were cool, but it was for kids, so I get it. It wasn't for me. But the design, it was horrible. That set was horrible, but the figures.
So many times and then put it back down.
The figures look amazing.
I wish they'd done Paz in dark blue though. I kind of see where they were going with the sand blue, but I think it's closer to dark blue than it is sand blue. His armor, but yep. R.I.P. Paz.
I'm so I nearly did the spoiler then, but I'm so glad that wasn't true. That rumor, because somebody's my favourite character. I just want them to be.
Are they going to be making another series of Mando?
Yeah, season 4.
Yeah, I think there was rumors at first that they were filming 3 and 4 back to back, but I don't think that's been the case. But I think John Favreau said he's currently writing it, so it'll be a little while. Yeah, I imagine too.
And speaking of
The
pads,
beauty of it is
look at these. Speaking of pads,
They're really cool.
that is cool.
one
I
of them's
love that
Empire.
Imperial one.
Yeah,
The
one's
black
Jedi,
one.
one's
Wow.
Imperial, one's Jedi. The middle one's great too. It has that beat up bounty hunter cooking colors. I love
They look
these.
amazing, they do.
Yeah, this Imperial one is my favorite. It's got the Imperial logo on the head.
Yeah.
That is cool.
Yeah, that's amazing.
I was just saying, if they left Mandalorian as it is now, I'd be fine with that.
I agree with you, Kerry. I wouldn't be mad if they left it as is.
The kids want more.
I want more of Mandalorian culture, and I don't think that they're going to go down that route now.
Yeah, because they kind of did it a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure how well that it's kind of been received on the whole. So I think they probably want to go back towards the Din and Grogu tour in the galaxy kind of styles of like the first 2 seasons, which is fine, I guess.
Those heavy infantry Mandos I got too, I was shocked. I was on Etsy and they're normally like $30, $35. They were 75% off.
That's
So
good.
and they had like 8 different colors. So I bought like 6 of them because they were so cheap. I was like,
Yeah.
and now they're back up in price again. I couldn't believe they were 75% off.
That's good.
They're good quality too. I mean, they're not like Lego, but they're very good quality.
Very good.
Yeah. I've got the there's the Paz Vizsla in like whoever creates those also did a Paz Vizsla in dark blue, and I'm waiting on that to come because I really want the helmet.
So how much now is that the armorer set with him in it?
Let me have a look. It might still be cheaper. I just remember the
I know the fig is up there now. I'm assuming the
It
set
wasn't
probably
on
is.
sale for very long, that set.
it
Yeah,
wasn't, and I think it was a Smith's exclusive in the UK.
Yeah, that's the other thing. I always walk past it being like, oh, I'll get it down the road, and then it just disappeared.
Yeah, it was very rarely in stock in Lego stores as well. So I'd like just if I'd seen it in stores, I would have picked it up a lot earlier and just like if I needed a promo or something. But
I used to see it in Target all the time, and I just walked past it. I actually bought it for my nephew for Christmas, and I didn't buy myself one.
So you're going to go and raid his set then?
He's got my space monorail from when I was a kid. I need to get that back. It's worth a lot of money.
I was going to say, it sounds like you need to get a few things.
My mother gave almost all of it to him, to my nephews, my childhood Lego. So I've gotten some base plates back of like the moon, the craters, moon base plates and things. And usually what I do is I buy them sets and then I bribe them and take back little things at a time from my old collection. But the monorail, he uses it and it's in good condition. So as long as he doesn't break it, then I'll be fine. Like eventually I'll get it back. I got upset with him though because I got those little Yoda figures, the I Heart New York Yoda figures. I was walking to work Times Square and they were doing the big promotion, so they were giving them out for free. So I got 3 of them. Now they're worth like over $1,000. I gave him one to try to teach him responsibility. I said, "Don't open this. This is worth a lot of money." What did he do? He opened it.
But it's Lego. It's meant to be opened and played with.
I know, but it's a $1,500 figure in a poly bag. Like I got it for free, so I can't complain, and I have 2 more of my own. So, but it was $1,500, something like that. Like,
Oh.
No maiming any children.
I was trying to
I
teach
won't
him to
let
be a
mine.
collector, you know, like to little responsibility. And half of me knew he was going to open it, but I was hoping he wouldn't. But he did.
You can never tell a kid, here, don't open the box.
No, I won't let my nephews in the room now because they're just little models. They're when one of them was 3, his mum was like, "Don't break Auntie Kerry's Lego," and he sat on my Millennium Falcon, thinking he was funny.
Oh dear, that wouldn't have
Yeah,
gone
so I
down
thought
well.
that- No, it did not go down very well. I'm like, oh, it's okay. It's just Lego. Right, they're not coming back ever. So now they're like, can I go into your Lego room? It's like, no. But I'm 10 now. I don't care.
Be like, break my Millennium Falcon and you'll feel the force.
When they were giving out those Yoda figures, it was crazy. They had a giant life-size X-wing build in the middle of Times Square, and they had people going around handing out the Yoda poly bags. That X-wing was impressive in person. It was like the size; it was life-size. Built out of brick. It was very impressive.
How many of those polybags were there?
They had a ton. They had buckets of them. They were handing them out. So I don't know why it got so high up in price now, because it seemed like they had a lot of them, but it was only one event, and it was in New York City, so I guess it's kind of rare.
Yeah.
What's everybody's views about the UCS X-Wing due to come out?
I think the R2D2 looks ridiculous. Like, it's so small. Like, my biggest problem with those kind of sets is, like, it's nice to get a like really detailed minifigure with it, but don't pose the minifigures in a set that's massively out of proportion, especially with the like astromechs and stuff. I mean, it's an X-Wing. It looks good. It's just not my thing. I like a lot of the like minifigure scale, bigger stuff rather than the like upscale models of the classic ships. Having said that, if they did an Arc 170 from Revenge of the Sith, I'd probably get that. But yeah, it's not. I mean, it looks pretty good. What about? Do you think you're gonna get?
You saw it in a display, didn't you, when you're at Star Wars?
Yeah, the screen made it all look very impressive with the lights all behind it and stuff. So, yeah, do you think you'll get it, Trevor? Is it your kind of thing, or?
No, I don't think I will.
No.
Yeah, I don't think I'm getting it either.
Yeah.
I'll stick to the dioramas. I enjoy them.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah,
I've got the previous 3, so I'm going to go for the other 2.
Yeah. The Death Star Final Duel is a very, very nice model. It's very, very good. The Endor one,
do like that. Yeah.
The Endor one could do with like filling out a bit in like the foliage. I think like you could definitely just go to the power wall and get some extra pieces and kind of fill the base plate out a bit more. But no, they are pricey. They are pricey.
The Endor one does look like a child set, I thought.
Yeah.
The thing that the Death Star set, I actually got it early at Hobbytown, and what bothered me about it, it's a gorgeous set, love it. But on the box, the round window that's made of the square window frames looks black on the box, so it looks like gives it like depth. And when you really build it, it's all gray. It's all the same color gray. If they had made the framing of that round window black, it would have like popped off the rest of the set and made it look like it has depth to it.
Yeah,
because it looks like that's what it looks like in the front of the box, and then you get it, and it's like, oh, this is all gray. It's still gorgeous, but
yeah,
that's my only little pet peeve about it was that.
I like the is it the Executor that made that smaller version of it, haven't they? That's coming out as well.
Yeah.
That's nice. I've got room to display that.
Yeah, yeah, that's a nice size.
That throne room, Death Star throne room scene though, the playset was done well too. I have the first version of that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff coming out on May the 1st.
There is. Disney CMFs is the big one.
Sorry if my phone keeps dinging. Sean from ACOB is like blowing up my phone right now. I gotta put it on silent.
Oh yeah, I need to get this. On May the 1st, I'm working all day. I have to get up really early, get there first thing, because I start work at 12.
W.H. Smith's had, if you bought 20 of them, which I think is a full box, then it was £60, I think.
What, for the CMFs?
For Disney ones, yeah, you could pre-order them.
I looked at that and because I jumped onto that as soon as I saw it, and it just wouldn't let you buy them. So I think it's
oh really
like either the pre-order had sold out or
Yeah.
I bought a box.
When I went to anything else, I could just buy it.
Mm-hmm.
I bought a box with 36 figures, one of the big boxes,
Nice.
and I paid 120 euros for it.
That's pretty good. Yeah.
What, CMFs?
Yeah,
The
of the
one.
Disney one.
That's
Oh,
good.
that's cool.
Yeah,
Because that should be 2 complete sets, right? As well.
That's what I heard. Right.
Yeah.
The new wave, right? The wave that just came out.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, coming out May 1st. Yeah.
Right.
Those are some nice figures. They
Oh,
look
they're
nice.
so good, man. They're so good. I'm traveling back from San Francisco on the Monday, and I think I land about like either 1 or 2 o'clock at Heathrow, so I might detour into London.
You're going to miss all the Star Wars stuff. It'll be sold out.
I'll probably, well, the good thing is it will be like, what would it be, like 5 or 6 in the afternoon or in the evening Sunday when it turns midnight on the Monday, May 1st, so I can do like an online order.
Yeah. Cool.
So yeah, I might just do an online order, but
I can't decide whether I want to actually get any of. I'm not going to get any of the first day Star Wars stuff anyway. I just want the briquettes, and I've got that already.
yeah.
The diorama I can wait. I'm going to get the 3 helmets.
Yeah, me
and the
too.
Rouge for Star Wars Day. So I'm hoping, touch wood, that they should still be in there.
Yeah.
But there is a lot of people that have said they're doing the same thing.
Yeah.
That's a worry. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was shocked at the Hobbytown store where I find things early here. Usually they put out like 3 weeks early. They had the Walmart exclusive mini scale Star Destroyer there, so I bought it. It's only supposed to be at Walmart. They had that, but they also sometimes have like they had the everything everyone was awesome set there, which is supposed to be Lego store exclusive. So this little hobby shop is really weird next to me. They had Han Solo sets from the Solo movie still in there.
Wow.
Yeah, and that's what 3 years ago when those things went off the shelf.
Yeah.
Like,
that's good going.
There's somewhere where somebody had been into a little store.
And the rest.
Yeah.
I should go back there and see if they have the Disney figures in there. They probably do.
Mm.
And buy them all. I don't know what I'm doing. Right. I'm going to have to shoot soon because I'm at work at 8 in the morning. Didn't realise that when I said I was going to come on. Got to work today and was like, I'm on in the morning as well.
Okay then.
Did not know that. Apart from the fact that I'm totally wired. So
Well, it's been great having you on then.
I'll give it another 20 minutes.
What's sort of coming up on your channel? What's happening?
I've been taking a bit of a social media break at the minute, so not too much. I'm hoping that I'm going to stream next Monday, I think it is. But yeah, I didn't stream this week, really bad this week. So I didn't stream this week because I was planning on streaming on Monday, and I took a nap at 3 o'clock and woke up at 8. And the only reason I woke up is because my hubby rang me. I was like, I'm awake. What time is it? Why is it dark? No, it's 8:30, 8:45. It's starting to get dark, so it's just ridiculous.
That's the worst. I've done that where I've taken the afternoon nap and then I wake up and it's dark and it's like I don't know if it's the next day or if it's the same day. You're like, you're just out of it.
I'm like, I'm on the couch and it's dark. My cats, for one, the hubby had gone fishing, so he's like, "Are you all right?" And I'm like, "I had a nap, and I think I've been asleep for 5 hours." Just ruined the evening. But yeah, so I'm going to try and get back to streaming next week. I'm off on Sunday, so I might speak to Fab Blondies and see. And tomorrow I'm on London Calling, and I am off on Sunday, and I do have an open invitation to stream with Fab Blondies as well, so I might pop onto her channel, do some more Harry Potter, and I just attempted to do like the little entrance or bit to the maze, but I don't know what I'm doing, so I need to figure out what I'm doing with that. But other than that, yeah, that's about it. This mock is to be displayed in Sheffield Brickfest, if not before that. I don't know whether I've got any others on. I was going to try and get to Reading, but I just don't think I'll be able to do that.
Ready?
Anybody else is... Yes, that's me.
Excellent. That looks like it's coming along really nicely, and look forward to seeing how that progresses.
Yeah, it looks really cool.
So have you seen that Bricktastic? They've so far booked out half the hall. So yeah, it's significantly bigger than this year's. Because I mean, there may be a third of it this year, so going up to a half, and then they could extend that further, I guess, at this point, depending on how many people they get.
For like perspective, how much did they have of it last year or this year?
So I think it's about a third this year.
Right, and they've got half.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Have they started opening up displaying already, or?
I don't think so.
No.
So I mean, last year, I can't remember when they opened it. They closed it, December 31st, didn't they?
Yeah.
So I'm guessing they won't start sign up till later. But I'm guessing, to get the venue, you need to book early. But the fact that they've booked half of it already is an indication that they're fairly confident they're going to get a good turnout.
Oh, funny thing that said, the Northern Angling Show is obviously on the same weekend, and they had tried to book out the Manchester Central as well, but couldn't because there was another event on. I was like, because my hubby, his friends run that event, because they normally had Event City. Is it Event City? Which is closed down now. It's been levelled basically. So a couple of years ago it was there, and they had to go to this really crappy one on the other side near, and it wasn't suitable. So they were trying to get Central again, and I was like, well, don't do it for that weekend then. It works for us because we've been able to go together for the last couple of times and share a hotel room. But I think Bricktastic have got like that weekend for the next however many years. But yeah, there was a lot of complaints on the Northern Angling Show about the fact that the lighting was bad, and the only thing they had good going for them was parking apparently.
You guys seem to have a lot of shows like back to back in the UK. Like
we have small ones, not big ones.
Yeah.
Bricktastic is probably the only one that is remotely as big as your like Chicago and is it Victoria?
Virginia,
yeah. All of ours are like little local ones.
What about what is the Great Western Bridge Show? Is that sizable?
It's an okay size. Black Country Bricks, I would say, is maybe bigger. It's hard to say because that they do kind of. It's a bit of a weird one where you've got stalls and stuff set up throughout the museum, so it's hard to get a feel of how big the space is at Steam.
That's what it was like at Space Centre as well. It's kind of spread out.
Yeah, but I've heard that Black Country Bricks they're trying to work out how to get more space because that was a bit cramped this year. So they're talking to the school about whether they can use more of the space there. They could go into some of the upstairs rooms and stuff. So because that was a really good show, we like that one. So it's good that they're trying to expand it.
Maybe they need to look at not a school then, and maybe an all. But obviously, when you've got somebody working for the school, it's cheaper. I mean, the Retford North Notts Brickfest was quite big. It's probably about the same size as Black Country, but that's because it was at Nate's school. So obviously, it was easy access, but that was quite big.
Yeah, I mean, I've no idea how much they pay for using the school. I mean, they may get a very decent deal on it because it is a charitable event. Yeah. As soon as you start going for actual venues, I don't think they're not going to give you a decent discount just because it's for charity. So it pushes up the price considerably.
I mean, I know the Brickfest events. They sold 5,000 tickets for the Doncaster one. I think they were £4 and £5 each. It wasn't an expensive one, this one. So that were like 20 grand. And then that's my maths being bad, by the way. So I worked it out about 20 grand. And then obviously the stall owners, they would have paid for their pitch as well.
The shows here are shifting like in popularity. Like there used to be the one in Oregon that was really popular, and then Chicago and Virginia are always big ones here. But Philly used to have a good crowd, and then that changed, and now there's ones in like Utah or somewhere out west that are becoming like they're starting to shift a lot. Like so, new people are starting new shows here, and old ones are ending. So it's definitely shifting around.
Yeah. One thing that we don't do though is people that don't get charged to display. If they're going to display, then it's all free, and if they don't get paid, but they get perks. Whereas over there, you kind of like with the big ones, certainly you pay to display, don't you?
Yeah, it's different. It's different show to show.
It's complicated, isn't it? Because you technically don't pay to display at Chicago, but you do have to pay for an expensive package to give you access to it for the whole time.
Yeah.
So it's a bit confusing as to whether you pay to display or not, kind of thing.
I guess you don't though, because you also don't. You're not. You can pay that and have access to the convention and not display.
Yeah.
So you would think that if people are going to display, then they shouldn't have to pay.
Yeah, they
I
don't
don't know anything about it.
When you see the competition for spots at those sorts of places, that they can make money, and Chicago makes some serious money.
Yeah. I mean, I know Mark, who runs Chicago. Sometimes I'm on the Friday Night Bricks panel with him, and he's on the panel there sometimes. Great guy, and he's obviously, done a lot to beef that show up. Mm-hmm. But I don't know much about like the packaging and the cost and any of that. But he is talking about doing one in my area, like the New York City area, because we're lacking, and the Connecticut office here is moving to Boston, but Connecticut doesn't. We have like a very highly populated area around New York City, and they have 9 Lego stores within 2 hours radius. So there's obviously a lot of people here that are into it.
Yeah,
and they never have shows. So he's talking about actually expanding, doing one around here too. So we'll see. I hope he does, because then I could drive there easily, and like I have enough mocks to fill up 2 tables. I just don't. Getting into Chicago is a pain in the butt for me.
Yeah.
I'd have to drive, literally. It's not that far, but that'd be like a 15-hour drive, more than that. Like
15-hour drive. Oh, that sounds awful.
Maybe more. I don't know. I've never driven. I've always flown to Chicago. I'm just guessing. I know it takes about 24 hours to drive to Florida from New York City.
Yeah, that's on that. We're notorious for not driving that far in the UK.
A bit of a way, yeah.
Anything over 2 hours, we have to stay overnight.
Yeah. I'm always surprised by that. It's sort of like, because my wife is British, and it'll be very much a matter of, we're going here, and we need to stay overnight somewhere. It's like, what are you talking about? Like, that first stop is where we stop to have lunch, like, and we'll keep going.
No. An hour. So you can drive there. Anything over that, I've got to stay overnight.
I have to look that up now. I'm curious how long it would take to drive to Chicago for me.
Yeah,
I'd have to cross a lot.
I think we're starting to come up on.
Sorry.
What'd you say, Matt?
I was just going to say we're starting to come up on 3 hours, so I think we might just sort of start winding down as such. Might just go through and have a chat, see where people got up to, and anything you've got coming up on your channel and things. So I think we'll start off with Trevor. That's just how'd you get on this evening, and what have you got coming up?
So that's part of the Indiana Jones plane chase.
Oh, nice.
It's cool. I like the how they did the brick built camo a little bit in the front and the back. At least they tried to make it look a little camouflage.
Yeah. You got the flames there because obviously,
Was that the one that the wings pop off pretty?
yeah, you can take the wings off,
Yeah.
and then you slap with the plane with the flames either side.
Nice.
So you can bend those wings up and down. Then I would assume, right? You can angle the wings if you want to.
Not really. You don't get a lot of movement now. They're sort of fixed in place.
I didn't build. I have that set. I didn't build that one yet.
Yeah, it's a nice set. The plane's larger than what I thought it would be. You get a little side build. Fill in.
Nice. Cool. With the tunnel.
And then, and then the car.
Very cool.
The car is cool. I built the car. I haven't built the plane yet. I love that little car build.
What did you think of the car build?
Chest. I think it's very nice. Very cute little build.
Yeah,
Love the way they got all the angles and everything. Some nice building technique.
It's unique. Yeah, it's unique.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really nice. And the weird thing was I got a few spare pieces, and one of the spare pieces I've got is Indiana Jones's hat. Got another one.
Wow.
Oh, cool.
That's
And
random.
of course, you get the whip. Yeah, I wasn't expecting actually to get another hat, so that's weird. But yeah, it's a lovely little build this. I want to get the other one now. Is it the ruins?
Yeah.
Yeah, they look reasonably priced as well. Those
Yeah,
those indie sets.
I've got the bigger one, the Temple of the Golden Idol, but I haven't started that one yet.
Nice.
So
Yeah, that one's the features are cool.
But in terms of the channel, I've got a little video I think uploaded on Saturday where I added some LED lights to the James Bond DB5. Show you that if I can. In its own case.
Oh, cool.
So I added lights to it.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's really nice.
Cool.
So I got a little video. I did that.
It looks really good in the case.
Mm.
And this, what we were talking about the other week, Matt, about cases. This is a wicked brick case. I really do like these cases.
Yeah. It looks like it's got a nice little backdrop too.
Yes. I mean, they're optional on all their cases. You can either have one with backdrop or without, but I always tend to, if you put it on the shelf, it's nice to have a bit of a backdrop to them.
Backdrop.
Right.
So,
Yeah, adds a little life to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool.
so I've done a little video about that. And I'm going to carry on with the Disney Up House. I'm doing a stop motion build. So we're 4 days in on that. And I think I've generated about 1.5 minutes of film. So, so still got a lot to do on that, but yeah, it won't be a lot to watch. It's a lot of hard work, but I've got a few ideas how I want to do the balloons and some sound effects. So, but I just enjoyed doing it. So I thought I'd put it together and give it an upload. So, and also Wiki Brick are coming out with a case. I think 7 p.m. it's released on Friday, and there's 350 cases that they're doing. I'd really like to get hold of one of those when I built it. So
Nice.
yeah.
Cool.
So,
Okay, great. Well, look forward to seeing those couple of videos and the Up House when you get through the next 10 hours and to do another 5 seconds of video.
and it didn't help. I deleted about 30 odd frames by accident, so I had to go back and retrace where I come from. It's all good fun. It's all part of learning and having the fun. I mean, a lot of people think, I don't know how you do it because it's frustrating, but you know, I enjoy it. So
You get it there. Okay, great, excellent. Okay, Nicole, how did you get along this evening, and what is coming up in your social media schedules?
I have one office completed, and I started on the main one.
Oh, I love this set. I love it so much.
Yeah, so far it's really, really fun.
Yeah, if you watch The Office, there's so many little Easter eggs in it.
Right. I was really tempted. I'm on the second season. I think almost finished second season. I wanted to wait, but now I thought maybe I build it first, and maybe then I enjoy the show even more if I have the set.
I started binging the show because of the set.
Yeah, right. But there was so much. I wanted to do that, but there was Mandalorian, Bad Batch, Orville, and I had off on Picard.
I have not watched any of Picard yet, so I need to catch up.
Right. But other than that, I will be on London Calling tomorrow, Fab Blondie on Sunday, and fingers crossed, I really, really want to get my YouTube channel started, because someone mentioned that it might be of interest if I open the CMF box live.
That would be good.
Yeah, that would make a good video.
Yeah.
Do it. Yes, 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 yes.
Now the time is running. If I definitely have to do it, because if I bought the box I think 8 weeks ago, 3 months ago. 120 euros is really a good. I hope I really bought the box. I paid it 2 or 3 months ago. Now fingers crossed that I actually will get something.
Have you already created your channel, Nicole? Or is that something you're going to do?
And the channel in itself is created. The only thing that I now need to figure out is, do I want to use StreamYards? Do I want to live stream YouTube or Twitch? Theoretically, I would like to stream Twitch and then upload it on YouTube. Or do I just do everything on YouTube? I'm confused.
Right, I'm going to have to scoot now. So I'll see you all later. And thank you for having me.
Bye, Kerry.
Bye, Kerry.
Bye, Kerry.
Yep. See you later.
Bye. Great to see you.
Bye.
Is your YouTube channel called Lady McBreak?
Yes.
Right. I'm gonna subscribe.
Oh, thank you. If I hold on doing videos and live stream much longer, I will have the largest YouTube channel without any content.
I have to take off myself, Matt, because I was supposed to go to dinner at some point, and I think I'm late.
Okay then. Any sort of things you want to give a plug to, or what you've been up to?
No, I mean I don't make YouTube content, but I have an Instagram page, Studs Today's Builds. Like Matt knows, I do a lot of like old Nintendo games. This is Kid Icarus, the video game Kid Icarus.
That's incredible.
I've done Ghosts and Goblins, Zelda. I do a lot of Star Wars stuff too. I've been mainly doing a lot of video game stuff like this, but Studs Today's Builds on Instagram. Occasionally, I do shirt art for people. Like I've been doing a lot of stuff for a couple of Brickheads podcasts, shirt art for them, and sometimes I'll do Star Wars mashup T-shirts on there as well when I have time. But other than that, it's just building, mocking. Eventually, I want to put out YouTube content. Eventually, I just haven't had time. I'm in the same boat.
It's always time and time.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to learn a bunch of stuff, just like she has to learn a bunch of stuff. Same thing, same issue.
Yeah, but no, definitely everyone check out his Instagram account when he's going through and doing these wonderful little mocks and some of the work in progress and things. It's always great for ideas, and yeah, some really good stuff there. So no, it's been great having you on, Stud, and hopefully we can have you on again in the future.
Thanks for having me on. Bye, everybody.
See you later.
Take care.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye. And moving along, tech. What did you manage to get through? And I would imagine, given how busy you are with social media and stuff like that, we'll have about 6 hours of you telling us what you're doing.
Oh no, I'm burnt out now. I've done my 4 days.
He's lining all his pins up.
yeah. I've just been working on some purist customs of some of the Mando series. I basically want to go through each of the seasons of The Mandalorian and create like an ultimate minifigure collection of all the do a video for each series, each season basically. So some of the lesser known characters I'm going to do like purist customs. Some of the like main characters I'm going to buy, or I bought like actual proper custom figures for. And yeah, like depending on their significance is dependent on how much sort of effort I put into the figure, I guess. So yeah, I've just been I made some orders a couple of weeks ago, so I've just been kind of sorting them really. I posted 4 vlogs on Star Wars Celebration, each of my 4 days there. So if you haven't watched them, you can go check that out. And the next video that I'll be posting is another one of my addictions and like obsessions is the I don't have any to hand, but the magazine foil packs. I went a bit crazy with the last ones of the 212 foil packs. So yeah, I'm working on a video on that. I go to San Francisco on Tuesday and I'm hoping I can get it out at the weekend, but yeah, we'll see. It might be one that I end up editing on the plane because I think it'll take a bit more editing than the vlogs will. So yeah, we'll see. But that's me for the next. Oh, I'm on London Calling tomorrow as well, and I'll probably do a Mando stream either Monday or Friday or Sunday. I'm not sure yet, but yeah, that's me.
Okay, brilliant. Yeah, no, it's going through and checking out the vlogs, watched a couple of them, and yeah, it's just really good to get a feel for it and see you going crazy with your pins. So definitely goes out. And yeah, no, I was wondering when you're going to do the final Mando sort of stream sort of thing or catch up. So
yeah, I said, I'm not sure if it will be tomorrow after London Calling. I was kind of. I'll decide tomorrow during my day at work. So if it's a long day at work, then I'll probably wait till Sunday. But if it's not too bad, then I'll
do it Sunday.
Yeah, but yeah, Sunday is actually a really nice time just before the Brute Bars, like 7. You can do like an hour and a half before they stream. It's always good. But yeah, so yeah, I'm leaning towards Sunday. I usually get to Friday evening and I'm like, nah, I got watch. I sat on the sofa. I can't be asked to go out, man. Like, so yeah, it'll probably be Sunday.
Okay, brilliant stuff, brilliant. And Ian, what have you been working on this evening, and what's coming up on your channels and socials?
So Carrie did a bit of a jigsaw puzzle. It's not a huge amount, but you know, there you go.
Nice.
Oh, cool. Nice.
Yeah, so I've been doing this building digitally, which is, I don't know, it's a bit of a weird thing to do. And I don't know if it's just because, you know, it's a Disney princess set and therefore it's not quite as loved by a lot of the kind of mocker community. So a number of the pieces are missing from studio. So trying to work out how to work around that in places. But it's not too bad. I've only had to restart studio 3 times because of it crashing or hanging or giving me weird behavior.
Well, that's definitely a success.
So, but yeah, I think I'm on the 5th bag out of 6. So
not bad.
I'd say it does take longer than actually building it physically.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But yeah, what we've got coming up. So yeah, we've just released a new episode of the podcast where we talk a bit about the Little Mermaid, which is an exciting episode. I think we're on London Calling tomorrow, as with everyone else. Which, you know, it's weird when it all lines up like that. And then on and I don't know what the video for tomorrow will be. I think Carrie's maybe hoping to get the Black Country Brick Show review done. But those videos take quite a bit of editing, so she may throw out something else instead if she doesn't get it done in time. And then on Sunday we will be doing a live stream from the city, which will be fun. It's interesting. We've been trying to do more videos about the city and try and do it in smaller steps because we found that we weren't doing them very often and having to cover a lot of stuff. But it's interesting the number of people who say that we should, move sets out the way so that we can focus on an area without the clutter. And it's like, yeah, there is nowhere to put it. One person went, I just went to put it on the floor. And I went, yeah, there's no floor space in that room. We've got like the girls will be up there building stuff, and sometimes they'll just get a base plate and make a pattern on it with bricks. But that takes up a huge amount of space because the brick will be scattered everywhere. So we might be doing a lot of tidying up so we can move stuff around. But we've got some exciting plans for the city to make it a bit bigger and try and sort out some stuff. But I need to get on with decorating bedrooms first because that then frees up room that we can store Lego in while we move everything around. So that will be Sunday. And then we'll do more stuff next week. I don't know what. I think Minifigure Mondays may be coming back.
Ooh.
Which, I know that Carrie said that I think her plan was that this week she would work on them so that she's got one lined up. Because it got to a situation where she was struggling to film, edit, and release it all on the Monday. So she needs to have like the backlog of them where she can quickly throw them out. I don't know how well she did on that plan. I should talk to her more really, but But other important topics like which Lego are we going to buy next? So I think that's it from us.
Okay, brilliant. And then you had the podcast released today and Thursdays, and okay, brilliant. All right, and just I've got this here. Managed to get Bowser done.
Wow.
Comes up.
Nice. I need to get that Bowser.
Yeah, it's really cool. I mean, these sorts of sets like this and Optimus Prime and things, when you can have the functionality and stuff which relies very little on Technic. I would try to open the mouth, but it's probably going to shoot the thing off somewhere. And the way the shell has been done, it's really cool. The way that they get all the angles in there and the Technic pieces and how that all comes together. And it's quite weighty and chunky, so it's the sort of thing I've been looking at, and I've been wanting to do a decent size Sonic the Hedgehog sort of thing, and I'm sort of looking at this and it's like, can I reskin this in blue and change the shell something? So I don't know, it's an idea, but I think that's 2,800 pieces or something, so that might be a project for some time down the line. Otherwise, I'm going to try to get back on schedule doing the most expensive top 5 sets. I think I'm up to 2017. Hopefully get that out Saturday. Want to get some videos out on Billand and walkthroughs and all that sort of stuff. That just requires time, so fingers crossed and sort of get through that. And otherwise, we should be back next Thursday, same sort of time, doing the same sort of things. So just thank everyone on the panel for coming in tonight, and also Stud, who was in a bit earlier, and Brickapix. And just quickly, other people are in the chat, always great, lots of interactivity there. We had Minifigure Who, KO, Simon, Zushi, Life Through Lego Bricks, good to meet you and pop along. Lego Bro, Jake Eric, Maniac for Bricks, Ben's Brick Design, Fab Blondie, Buzz's #1 fan, Snarlino, Infamous Convict, One Brick Stud, Wibbly Wobbly, and I think we also had, let's get the name wrong, is it Long Wing or something or other? And while I've still got it up, we did have a poll going, end that off now, which is about the new Sonic sets, and coming out good 33 votes, and 4% of those were pretty much saying what's a Sonic. And now that I've ended the poll, it's disappeared, which is helpful. Oh no, here it is. 33% number second was saying it's cool, but not for me. Only 15% were saying take my money. and 9% were saying, where are the Mario CMFs already? So,
I can get behind that.
I think otherwise, do all the usual stuff, share, like, and subscribe. And the replay gang, always appreciate you guys. I think that's pretty much, and everybody's details down in the description below, apart from Stud, which I might have to add in afterwards. Check them out either on YouTube, Instagram, most people are on. I don't think anybody's really doing much on Twitch. And I think that's about it. I made a little bit of a tweak to the outro video, changed a few little things, so just sort of see if anyone can pick up on that. Otherwise, everyone, have a good week. Good to hang out with everyone. Thanks very much. And we will see you all again next week. Bye.
Bye.
Mr. Bigger, give me a super duper.
In case I don't see ya, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.